we're working behind the scenes, making sure that we get everything right. Players got to raise their hands higher than others. The building phase is very tough because matches that you think you could win, you don't win because you're still trying to get the players to gel.
It continues to be destination Morocco for South Africa's Banyana Banyana. Kanti namhlanje silethela an international friendly in the Three Nations Challenge, where this afternoon they will take on Zambia, following after having won 3-2 against Botswana last week. Today they get another chance to go against a nation that is much more in terms of ranking closer to South Africa's Banyana Banyana. Currently, of course, South Africa ranked 54 in the world and Zambia ranked 64. Nginibingelele nonke emakhaya riperile Africa Zonga. Igama lami nguVusiwe Intokazi yakwaNgcobo angihambi ngedwa, joining me in studio to help unpack and analyze what we expect in this afternoon's clash is the one, the only. I mean, she's done it on the field of play and now she seems to be coach fantastic. It's Janine van Beek. Janine, a very good afternoon to you. So good to see you. It's been a long time.
Thank you. It's always good to be back talking football with you, and of course dissecting Banyana Banyana and the performance and the recent performances, and just love to talk women's football, and hopefully it will be another good encounter today.
Indeed, we are crossing our fingers and hoping for a good encounter for Banyana Banyana. Of course, they are the African champions. They're going to a massive title defense. Coach Anna Waya Monati also joins us this afternoon. Coach Waya, you look at these two teams, and I think today we're expecting a very different game to what we saw in that first game against Botswana as they come up against the Copper Queens.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, today I see a very competitive game in terms of the physicality, because the Zambian team, they're very strong, and with the speed, so it's going to be like a high-tempo game for the entire 90 minutes today.
Indeed, and perhaps we go straight through now to the nation's capital, where we do have our journalist on the ground, Lonwabo Nkotla, just to give us a sense in terms of what we can expect and what the vibe is like out in the nation's capital for those that are coming through to watch South Africa's Banyana Banyana.
Thank you, Vusiwe. Good afternoon, Molweni Makaya, coming to you from a sunny and warm Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium. It's Banyana Banyana, the reigning queens of the continent that host the Copper Queens of Zambia. So looking at these two squads, I'm excited for this encounter because we have two sides that boast a number of players that are plying their trade overseas. So let's start with Banyana Banyana. We have Amogelang Mutau, who has joined Jermaine Sepesenyo, Tembi Khatlana in Mexico. We have Bongeka Gamete, who's out in Denmark, but the same applies for Zambia. Most of their players in the USA, I'm talking about Barbara Banda, Rachel Kundanaji. So it only means one thing, right? We in for a treat of an encounter here at Ridgeville. Looking at the squads, a number of changes made by Coach Desiree Ellis. She says they do have a bout of flu in the squad. I'm seeing the likes of Andile Dlamini in the starting lineup. Refile Jean is not even in the match day 23, and this is due to the illness that has held some of the players in the squad in Banyana Banyana's camp. But nonetheless, we're anticipating a mouth-watering clash between these two sides that have just under 30 days to go to the WAFCON that is happening in Morocco. I'll leave it there for now, expecting an enticing day of football here in the capital city.
Thank you so much, there, Olonwabo, just giving us an update in terms of what the expectations are. And I mean, Janine, rightly so, speaking about having the flu going around in the camp at the moment. But these are realities that the team may have to face going into WAFCON and even while at WAFCON.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in 2022, while I was with the team in WAFCON, we had COVID, and a couple of players were ill and couldn't play, couldn't perform. And, you know, you always hear Coach Des talk about the versatility of players that she selects due to these factors. So it's about, you know, players coming on and stepping up to perform and do the exact same job as required as players that probably would have played. So it's an important task that every player that is selected that know their duty, know their role, that when they are called upon due to these factors, they are ready.
Indeed. Now, Coach, we spoke earlier about Banyana Banyana having that 3-2 victory against Botswana. We look at some of those key moments coming through from that game. Let's speak about Banyana Banyana's attack first and what caught your eye and impressed you in terms of how they were able to score these goals against Botswana.
Yeah, remember, first half. Until second half when the Coach Desiree changed the players because he wanted to give everybody a
I
run.
want to touch on this, though, how crucial attacks like this are going to be for this Banyana side moving forward.
I mean, for now, it's quite important. And you can see, you know, that Kelly Swart, I mean, she can her distribution is so good. And she's spot on most of the time. As long as the teammate can always listen to her, I think that's when, as a goalkeeper, that's when you start the attacking. And you look at Seopasing, when the way she positioned herself, including Mutlakwana on the right-hand side, her receiving was so beautiful, calm, head up, looking for the, you know, how, where could Lala Boloko guy. But as you can see, Mutau, before Bamunsa's second half, she was the one who was always trying to add more numbers in attack, so that is why we end up scoring so early. Got the first game, Botswana.
And this was a good lead, Janine, for South Africa's Banyana Banyana, and we almost thought it's going to be goal after goal, but we look at Botswana coming back into the game, giving themselves a chance in terms of how they find their opening goal.
What a goal this was, and I definitely think, you know, with the two centre-back pairing, Bambanani, Karabo, that he's not actually a full-out centre-back, you know, caused that goal because they didn't read it so well. I think the defence line, for me in this game, wasn't stable enough. They weren't organised enough, and it happens when you haven't played game time for many weeks and just bounce back from injury and you expect it to perform. But this is something that they can learn from. I think today is going to be crucial. There's some changes that has been made in the defence line, and obviously to suit the Barbara Banda coming up and with her speed ahead. So yeah, it's an exciting one to look forward to.
An exciting one to look forward to. And as we look at South Africa's journey in the last 5 encounters that they've played, I mean, it's victories all the way. Coach Anna, what do you make of what Banyana Banyana has been able to do in their last 5 encounters? And perhaps we also speak about the type of games and the type of teams that they've been playing building up to their title defense.
Yeah, I think Coach Desiree wanted to see the youngsters. That is why the first games, you know, started like Lesotho, and then actually the previous Banyana Baba competed last year in Kosafa Cup. And then trying to bring the experience as well. And a little oppositions are like Malawi. Though Malawi, they didn't have their best team, but I'm happy for the girls because they managed to win for games by the pitching. And as you can look today, this tri-nation from Botswana game, we scored on Wednesday. We managed to win the games, but we need to improve our defense. We need to improve in all departments. And as you can see, Zambia is a team that every time they've improved a lot. The past 6 years, Zambia wants us to take, you know, to lead in the continent. And because banally the good players, they are hungry. But remember, Zambia from under 17, under 20, and the senior side, that's what Zambia has been doing all along. But don't forget about Botswana. It's also a very good team as well.
Indeed, and you speak about the Zambian team, I mean, playing out to a 1-0 draw against Botswana. Of course, Botswana then coming back and equalizing in this game. What do you make of their road so far, the Zambian side, and what it's looked like for them? Not as convincing in terms of victories as South Africa, but you also look at the opposition that they've played, Janine, in their last 5.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, you know, looking at them, the results may not have been consistent and very good in their form, but also, you know, during these games, they also haven't had their strongest teams. They have Barbara Banda and Rachel that couldn't come back from the NWSL, from the US, because they were afraid to get back into the country. And, you know, not to have your key players plays a big role in your consistency and your performance as a team. But I don't think, I mean, come WAFCON, I think they'll be 100% ready to you know, face any opponents and try and get the best result possible.
Kanti ubuthi uyabheka i-head-to-head yalabaqembu amabili eNingizimu Afrika kanye futhi neZambia, having played a total of 12 encounters, South Africa certainly leading there in terms of victories, 7 in comparison to 4 for Zambia, and a single of those encounters ending in a draw. But the big thing is the goals that South Africa has been able to find, 20 against Zambia versus 12 that Zambia has scored against Ningizim Africa. But I can tell you this, that the game might be heating up, but you can trust Shield to keep you dry and fresh for longer. You bring the heat, Shield brings the freshness. Shield, it won't let you down.
For the love of the game.
60 years ago, I embarked on a journey to understand the places and the people of this amazing planet we live on. But time moves on, and so do we. Now I'm going back to see what happened to the places and the people I used to know. All these years later, what remains of the wild places? Is there still time for us to make a difference on this small planet? The longest snake in the world.
A remarkable and thought-provoking documentary series, Wild World Diaries, Friday, 6 June, SABC 2.
Saturday on 2.
You look good, Janie. Your hair's shorter.
Longer.
I like it.
Jake and Jane were once married. It's confusing.
I'm having an affair.
No.
With a married man.
You're not saying.
Oh, yes, I am.
And Jane seems to be taking the bull by the horns.
Turns out I'm a bit of a slut.
It's challenging.
I'm now the other woman.
Oh, forget about that.
Is this a great affair or what?
I don't know. It's my first.
It's complicated.
You two really seem to have it figured out.
We're not as figured out as you'd think.
Figured out in no way, shape, or form. Meryl Streep, Steve Martin, and Alec Baldwin.
This is the most out-of-control thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh, Jane?
It's very complicated. Saturday, 6:30 on 2.
Welcome back. We are building up to this encounter. South Africa's Banyana Banyana in an international friendly against the Copper Queens of Zambia. Let's now hear from Ningizim Africa coach Desiree Ellis speaking to her starting 11 and some of those changes that we see versus what we saw in that game. Botswana.
Coach, thank you for chatting to us. Let's start with that provisional squad that you announced during the camp. How does it change or shape the dynamic of the team as you had them at that moment?
Look, we wanted to put as many names on there as possible to cover all positions to make sure that, we don't leave any name out that can add value before we make our final decision, because it's really important that we have that list to know who we want to select going forward as well, because it's not just about now, it's about the future as well. So we've always put out a big provisional list, whether it be for World Cup or whether it be for, WAFCON, just to make sure that we cover all our bases, and if somebody pulls out, then there is cover in there instead of just putting a small provisional list out there.
Coach, wholesale of changes is an understatement. You've made quite a number of changes. I see some of the players like Muhlakwana and Jani not even in the matchday squad.
Unfortunately, we have a little bit of a flu crisis in the camp, as you can hear. Also struggling with a bit of flu, but players' health comes before everything, and we needed to make sure that we take care of them. We've obviously made 5 changes because we said we wanted to have a look at more players. Our bench is very thin at the moment because of that, but players' health come first, so not able to be in the starting lineup, and we felt it's best also that they don't come to the stadium, rather take the medication and get well, because season continues as well, and also in not too distant future you're back in camp, so you want a fit body and a fit mind as well.
Which presents quite an interesting challenge against Zambia, the opponents for today.
Look, we know their strengths. We know they have speed up front. We've also seen that, Coach Noor is trying to play a little bit different, and that is interesting and exciting because, you become unpredictable. We know the strengths they have. We know what we want to work on, and that's why we've made a couple of changes the way we made it, because we also want to see others in that position. I think defensively we've got to be better than what we were against Botswana. Also in attack we've got to be more clinical in front of goal, but it's in the midfield area where we need to take control of the game, where we need to be better in possession and not give the ball away so much. So, those are the areas that we're looking at being better at.
Right, so quite a number of things that Coach Desiree Ellis is looking to improve from today's game in comparison to that encounter against Botswana. But we rightly speak about many changes being made, including in goals. You're seeing an Andile Dlamini coming in, Ramalepe Kamete, Linda Mutlalo, as well as Tisetso Makubela coming into the starting 11 here this afternoon. What do we make of how Coach Ellis is lining up her players?
Well, I think for me, she wants a little bit more stability in the back. You have three players that know each other so well from club football. You have Dlamini, Tisetso, Bamanani that all come from Sundown. So the chemistry and the understanding is really good over there. So it should be a well-organized defense line. In the midfield, you have three international players. You hear Coach Desiree talking about the midfield taking control of the match and not losing much possession. So she's looking to more experienced players in there. And then you have Ramalepe that's come in, obviously used for her pace on the right-hand side to run at the Zambian defence, and with Jermaine's speed up front, and Bibe that has come in also and done exceptionally well. So I think overall looking at the lineup is a quite solid lineup for me.
Quite a solid lineup that will be looking to get the job done for South Africa this afternoon against the Copper Queens. Speaking of the Copper Queens, I guess is a former Onora Hoptel.
Coach, thank you for chatting to us once more. Let's quickly reflect on the previous game. I mean, that 1-1 results, just looking at the body language after, it didn't seem that you and the team were satisfied with that performance and the result.
Like you say, I would a bit separate the result from the performance, like always. We are not satisfied with the result at all. I think the performance overall was very good. We had fully control in possession over the 90 minutes. We created 13 chances. Maybe the rate of what we converted then into goal was not high enough. We just scored one goal, but we scored one in first half, which was abandoned on wrong decision. Then we had two crossbars, so like 400-500% chances where we need to have more stamina, or we say kukakata in Zambia, to push the ball over the line. We allowed the opponent one entrance into the box, which they scored. They have been very efficient, and they had some dangerous set pieces, but beside, I think we have been in fully control.
They were in full control, she says, in that encounter against Botswana, but today they'll be looking to do better in terms of that conversion rate. We look at the starting 11, a team that is able to find the back of the net, but a concern here is the number of goals they also concede, Coach.
Yeah, when you look at that defense, it's not so strong, so compact, especially when you look at their from their left-hand side, where you see the jersey number 19, Mapepa. She looked like lost or not comfortable in that position. Unfortunately, because Zambia is a team that has got a very good offensive players, that is why they look good, and that is why they are conceding. But when you look at us as South African, if the way I see Ramalepe has been pushed up, that's when they'll be forced to defend, because Ramalepe, that's where her strength is. She normally plays there. And then you look at their midfield, they have a very good midfield, Zambia. You have Lunga, you have Katongo, and Chanda in the midfield, meaning I'm talking about number 14, number 12, and number 10. They have that kind of a chemistry from under 17 when they were in Kabeja playing for their under 17 national team. So if you look at them, that's when Zambia will be good and give us a challenge in the midfield. But I believe in Kamere, I believe in Mutawi in the midfield and Mutlalo, that we can outplay them and not to give them room to turn, because physically they are very, very good.
And of course, a key player that they'll be relying on as well is their captain in Banda.
Yeah, because she can break the lines very easily. She's very strong, she's composed, she knows what she's doing, she's so balanced. You don't have to allow her to receive the ball. Cut each and every ball that is being like distributed to her. For me, kill first man on the ball. That's the way to outplay her.
So, Janine, we've looked at the starting 11s of both these sides. We've spoken about South Africa's attack versus defence. How does South Africa then get a maximum result from this encounter this afternoon?
Well, I think defensively solid, taking care of Barbara Banda and her strength, not leaving much space in behind, being cautious when they are in attack and being cautious of the counter-attack against. I think the rest defence has to be really alert, because any ball over the top and no one's going to catch Barbara Banda. But I think we should really go out, Banyana should go out and play their game, play their possession-based football, create opportunities and make use of the opportunities they create in the final third, and also take advantage of the goalkeeper that, you know, against Botswana mishandled the ball a lot. So that's something that they can really look at. You hear the Zambian coach said that they took full control and dominance of the game. So it's going to be a good encounter between the two. You know, it's both teams wanting to dominate the game in possession. So it's just a matter of who does it.
Give me your prediction.
2-2.
2-2.
Draw.
What draw? 0-0.
I think 0-0 draw.
Oh, goalless draw for coach Anna Monati, while Janine van Wyk says it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Let's take you through now to our commentary team. We do have Gloria Hands of Safety Brown, kanye futhi noThulisile Yapa Guzineti Mia.
A very good afternoon and welcome to you, and to you. It is the Three Nations tournament that has really got to this ultimate moment, and it is South Africa and Zambia who will close the curtain on what has been a fantastic showing of the COSAFA region. It was Botswana, South Africa and Zambia who have dished out some polished performances to get to this particular stage. Who will win this Three Nations tournament as we come into the final day of these three matches? South Africa come into this tournament with 3 points, having won their first game by 3-2 against Botswana. It is Zambia who played to a 1-1 draw against Botswana. Botswana were the early departures of this tournament, and today the ultimate champion will be crowned after 90 minutes. Gloria Brown is the name, and alongside me is Thulisile Mia. It is a beautiful day out here at the Attridgeville Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium as the young aspiring ball girls lead their idols, lead their heroines onto the park. This is a moment to cherish. The Copper Queens, who have come in and are very much businesslike, will take center stage. What a display of Africa's finest. Barbara Banda is in the house, and so is Everin Katongo. For South Africa, we are looking forward to players like Amogelang Mutau and Jermaine Sifosingwe. The national anthems of either side will be sung. Before then, it will be the meet and greet of the various officials. And good to see Mama Joy also lending her hand out here at the stadium. Barbara Banda, the captain of the Copper Queens, will just allow the officials the customary greetings before this match gets underway. It is about 19 degrees, feels like 25 on this winter's afternoon. And the match officials who hail from Namibia, they will be given a very, very busy afternoon, if anything to go by, because when you know, you know. The Zambian outfit play with some explosive power and speed. They will definitely be testing the South African defense. New coach at the helm for Zambia, Coach Nora Elizabeth Hout. And South Africa's coach, Dr. Desiree Ellis, has been 9 years at the helm. Ramalepe, some of those notable changes that have been brought in by Dr. Desiree Ellis. And Mama Joy will take her time in a colorful outfit, very vocal and always ever present in and around South Africa. And that one gets a lovely hug and a kiss.
And now the national anthem of South Africa.
What a moment, what a time. There is no time like now. There is no time to feel inferior, as two of the COSAFA giants will do battle in a minute or so. Some friends and foes as they know each other very, very well. This is the lineup for the Banyana Banyana outfit. 5 changes being spotted in this particular lineup. We are picking up Andile Dlamini, who finds a place in goal. Lebogang Ramalepe, Bongeka Kamidi. It's Figile Magama, Karabo Dlamini, Linda Mtalo, Jermaine Siaposingwe, and Disetso Mapukubela. Adriela Mibe keeps her position, as well as Amogelang Mutao. We would then get to have a look at the Zambian team that gets into the huddle and shares that moment they want to cherish. Let us look at the lineup for Zambia and bring in Tuli Mia.
sonda amaphepha uyawuqala umdlalo lapha kwi left back, right back Rachel onajula ukhona umwemba umaliba eswini kukhona umdlalo wabo odlala kahle kakhulu Irene Lungu kanjalo ke no Katongo umkadlwabo oyingozi kakhulu lapha phambili uyena futhi ukapteni nangu ngikhuluma ngaye Barbara Banda ngesikhathi bedlala neBotswana uyena oshaya igoli kulowo mdlalo ophele ngedraw ka 1-1 abasiphatheleke umdlalo namhlanje amantombazane abuya ezweni lase Namibia onompempe Victoria Shangula usizwa Olivia Amuku bese kuba Augustine Elivini kanti i-fourth officially ukhona ke la uSitoko ibona ke abazobe bebheke namhlanje ukuthi ke izinto zihambe kahle kakhulu umdlalo wogcina namhlanje kule 3 Nations challenge sesibone amagoli ayisikhombisa njengoba emdlalweni wokuqala iNingizimu Afrika inqobe ngo-5-2 kanti lapha emdlalweni wesibili iZambia yase idlala idraw ka 1-1 nelizwe lase Botswana sobona ke labo sondonzima bobabili bamazwe ukuthi bazosikhombisa u90 minutes onjani njengoba zonke indlela zibheke lapha eMorocco kwiWAFCON ngoJuly.
Spotting just one change from the Zambian team that did duty against Botswana. It is Kabange Mupopo, the 32-year-old who's come in to the side, and she replaces Priska Chilufya. And that is pretty much a change that coach Nora Elizabeth is looking at from a tactical perspective to see if they could get the ultimate win that she's looking for. A statistician of note, a coach that brings in the tactical discipline as well as a combination of the flair for the Zambians. The South African side that is known to be very, very possession-based. Here is Dr. Desiree Ellis, who leads her charges, and 9 years at the helm, coach of the CAF Coach of the Year, that is 2018, 2019 and 2022. It is Zambia that will get us underway, and they attacking the goals from the right to the left of your screen in the green uniform. South Africa, on the other hand, in all yellow. Immediately, the intention's pretty clear as Rachel Kudananji is one of those players that will be asked to put pressure on the South African defense, blessed with an abundance of speed. So when you're looking at the Zambian side coming in with the 4-3-3 formation, a formation that they're very comfortable to use from all different levels, from the under-17 to the under-20 and into the senior team. That is the DNA of the Zambian side, which really possesses a lot of pace and flair at the same time. Lovely ball immediately sending Barbara Banda. Yes, Kudananji. Keeper comes out and forcing that ball out for a throw-in. But that is the electrifying tempo that Zambia is known to possess. And defensively, South Africa will have to be a lot more disciplined and make sure that they try and close down those attacks, especially from the middle of the park. It is Ramalepe who will be looking for Siapa Singwe up front, who will be very much closely marked, as Zambia have a very, very good understanding defensively. This is the dissecting ball. First touch of Barbara Banda was good enough. The vision was there to bring in Kudananji, who made sure that in that particular moment, she tries to take on the goalkeeper. Yes, Ramalepe, good delivery into the box. There's nobody there to benefit from the quality ball. Not that many yellow jerseys. Zambia will need to close out those crosses from the wings as South Africa will continue to pile on the pressure. Amogelang Mutao tries to put on a bit of pressure. Linda Mutalo, who's coming in the middle of the park, she together with Bongeka Kamede are instrumental in the fluidity of South Africa's play. Adriela Mibe forced backward, but not without a bit of a challenge and a nibble from behind, and that is a free kick being given to South Africa, to the amusement or the amazement of Zambia, who believe that they did nothing wrong. It is Karabo Dlamini who takes the throw in. closing down very, very quickly is the Zambian outfit. And Everine Katongo, who is one of those players that has really been inspirational and grown in leaps and bounds. We've seen her progress from the under-17 as Coach Nora looks on. Very calm in her approach. Has been part of, or was part of, the Switzerland under-19 coach. Being brought in as early as January in the hope that Zambia will progress to the AFCON tournament as these preparations continue to be important in the build-up. It's a free kick. Ball delivered. Dlamini way out of her line, but it was very quick and beautifully taken. Plucked it out of the air and looking for Disetso Makubela. Bambanani Mbane, the two centre-backs will be under pressure. Kameda Bane of Mamelodi Sundowns, who's on 88 caps. Very experienced player. Kamede shows too much of the ball, but does well to recover. Here is Fikile Kamede, has Ramalepe as well in acres of space. And Siopo Singwe running into trouble, and very menacing is Simonia Mapepa. And a player brought down unfairly as the assistant referee, that is Olivia Amoku of Namibia, just frantically picks that flag up. We have a look at that ball again, being bundled off the ball. Grace Chanda in the thick of things. Grace Chanda, who just joined also Orlando Pride in the US, the 27-year-old, has come in the midfield. Grace Chanda making history way back in 2022, being the player to score a hat-trick in the UEFA tournament, the first on her debut at that. Yes, Ramalepe giving chase, but that is overcooked. And turnover ball for Zambia to get the throw in. This will be a very, very tactical game with 5 minutes on the clock. Last touch coming off Muskuda Nanji. That will allow South Africa in an advanced position to get that ball into the right areas. But it is Zambia who win it back. Kamede just gets a header, importantly, to find Disetso Makubela. Barbara Banda, who is that player that is menacing, and just a little too much to chase as that ball goes all the way to the goalkeeper. Definitely appearing to pick up some sort of concern in that defensive third of South Africa. The pace of Zambia of great concern. Amu in an offside position. Amu Khelang Mutau in an offside position. Correct decision being made as we have a look at that. 6 minutes on the clock. Zambia and South Africa locked at 0-0 apiece. Very offensive system used by the Zambian outfit, and they have the players to complement that. Ramalepe force going the wrong way, and will just allow Mbane to tidy up in possession. Been given away. Trying to keep it in play is none other than Irene Lungu. But it is Fikile Magama. South Africa coming into this match showing some good form of late. Scoring 11 goals and conceding 3 in, when you look at the last 5 matches. Yes, a 1-0 against Lesotho, 2-0, 3-0 in aggregate. You then had the friendly tournament or friendly matches against Malawi, winning those convincingly. That being 3 clean sheets in a row. And then a 2-1 to Malawi in their final game. As goalkeeper Dlamini being asked to try and send another long ball. You're looking for range from the goalkeeper. You're looking for opportunities up front. Player goes down, and right in front of the referee, Victoria Shangula of Namibia. So we have a look at the foul on Adriela Mibe, being pushed all over, climbing all over is Rachel Matula, the oldest player in the Zambian outfit at 39 years of age is Rachel Matula, but the abundance of experience, goalkeeper Catherine Musonda, who's also been one of those players that has really grown in leaps and bounds. Well, very, very clear to see her in a pink uniform. We'll call her the Pink Panther for today. That is Catherine Musonda in the goal mouth. South Africa looking for those spaces. Linda Mutlalo with the lovely ball, and possession turned over. Barbara Banda on the ball will take a strike. Deflection. That was enough to help South Africa to clear the line. Linda, who sent that ball up front, hoping that it will find Amogelang Mutau. They've got to be cautious, as the pace of Barbara Banda is absolutely frightening. Lushomo Mwimba in that defense. Clash in communication there by the players, or lack of communication rather. Yes, Siopho Singwe tries to keep it in play, does well. Siopho Singwe looks for space, needs to get the numbers in the box. Ball delivered on the edge of the box at Zambia. That will come away with it. Spotting a bit of an infringement on the edge of the line, as Adriela Mibe seems to be having a bloodied nose, and she will be asked to leave the field. In that moment, Adriela Mibe, a header in the face. We'll try and have a look at that as medical team is being summoned on to try and stop that. Let's have a look at that moment. Siopho Singwe doing well to eliminate a player with the hope of just whipping that ball in, and that's the clash of the two players. Siopho Singwe's ball nicely delivered, and Adriela Mibe on the receiving end of a hand that just went into the face of the player. 10 minutes on the clock, 0-0.
Awuphelile ngempela 10 minutes wokuqala esombeni esoqala njengoba sikhoma la Lucas Moripe Stadium. Kuphina kuphi la ukhona, siyakwamkela asiyakubingelela njengoba sikulethela bukhoma umdlalo wokugcina wale 3 Nations Challenge, umdlalo ophakathi kweZambia nelizwe laseNingizimu Afrika. Ibanyana banyana njengoba ke sibona le cross ebeyifakwa eboxini siphosiniwe, wasephakama lapha uMibe, wasethinteka njengoba ke simbona opha. Bayangena bazombheka ke abosizo loqala, ingane edlala lapha eUJ le. Awuphumela ngaphandle la uMibe, bazombheka abalandeli bakhona ke la enkundleni njengoba bephakamisa iflegi leNingizimu Afrika. Amaqembu omabili noma omathathu lawa 3 Nations adlala la alungiselela ukuya lapha eMorocco ngoJulayi. iNingizimu Afrika izobe iyozama ukuvikela isicoco abasinqoba khona eMorocco ngo-2022. iZambia yaphuma ku number 3 ishaya iNigeria ngo-1-0, kanti iBotswana yona yaphuma kuma quarter finals. Namhlanje Desiree Ellis wenze inguquko zabanhlanu eqenjini elidlale neBotswana umdlalo wokuqala. Namhlanje emapalini uDlamini ukhona, uReflejane namhlanje futhi akekho. Ramalepe umdlalo uyawuqala, Okamede naye futhi uyawuqala umdlalo. Olinda Motlalo naye futhi uyawuqala umdlalo. Salgado namhlanje umdlalo akekho njengoba sibona indawo yakhe ithathwa uyena la uRamalepe ongene emdlalweni esombe sesibili bedlala nelizwe lakhona eBotswana. iZambia yenze ushintsho olodwa eqenjini ebelidlala neBotswana. Nangu umnyakazo manje Khundanashi ibhola lakhe liphuma phezulu kwepali. Khundanashi umdlali obeyiphela endlebeni ngesikhathi bedlala nelizwe laseBotswana. Nangu Sticks obuyile namhlanje uthatha indawo kaKaylin Swart obambanani omunye umdlali onamacaps amaningi kuleli qembu elila enkundleni namhlanje, cap number 89 obambanani Mbane. Iyancenga iNingizimu Afrika emuva Andile Dlamini, Tisetso Makhubela, Kamete uyaliphakamisa lide. Umaphepha ukhona lapha ngakwesonxele. Iyalungisa manje iZambia. Rachel Nachula Katongo base beliphakamisa lide lifuna ijubane. Umupopa othathe indawo kaPriska Chilufya. Dlamini ihle i10 kaMotawu, lihle lebhola lakhe Motawu. Yavinjwa ibhola lika Jermaine. Throw in le yeNingizimu Afrika. Throw in yeNingizimu Afrika. Ohlezi phansi Andile Dlamini, goalkeeper weMamelodi Sundowns. Nange ibamba la emsipheni ngemuva. Inkinga yabona ke ziyaqala manje eqenjini lesizwe. Idlala nje akakabuyi la uAdril Mibe. Nanga uMibe. Inkomba angathi akasabuyi. Ile cross le ebeyibuya kuJermaine Siposinwe, leli bhola lamshaya lavele nje leza nje la ebusweni. Ingakho ngasabuyi manje la uAdril Mibe. Liyaphoqeleka ibhenji leNingizimu Afrika ukuthi lenze ushintsho manje. Nangu noAndile Dlamini futhi usenkingeni, awuhlezi phansi. Umdlalo umile, babili abadlali beNingizimu Afrika abasenkingeni. Kodwa ngingakutshela nje ukuthi uMibe akasabuyi. Izoshintsha iBanyana Banyana. AwuDlamini naye awuzwe ubuhlungu. Mangabe engakwazi ukuqhubeka nomdlalo bazomshintsha njengoba sibona la Michelle Samson ogijimela iqembu leFort Hare ongena enkundleni uthatha indawo kaMibe. Samson ngaphambi kokuthi asayine kwiFort Hare ubedlala lapha kwiRichmond United. Uyabona ukuthi akazizwa kahle la uAndile Dlamini. Ebhenjini ukhona uKaylin Swart, okhona uCasey Gordon, bobabili badlala kwiJVW. Uyasukuma manje la uAndile Dlamini. Uyasukuma uyaqhubeka nomdlalo. uAndile Dlamini ithrow in yeBanyana Banyana. Cream Michelle Samson Kamete awuthola uRamalepe uyaphakamisa ufaka eboxini, offside. Enali iflag eliphakeme kuthiwa usahamba yedwa Jermaine Siposinwe. iyo le offside. Siposinwe ngesikhathi bedlala neBotswana ushaya amagoli amabili benqoba ngo 3-2. Iyalungisa manje iZambia. Ijubane manje Grace Ichanda bafuna akhunda nanje. Ngathi kuyenyukela la kubanyana banyana nangulinda muhlalo uhlezi phansi futhi. Umhlalo umile kodwa iZambia ithola i-corner kick. Iyabuya iyomaka leya khona ibanyana banyana. Asukumile alinda umhlalo. Uyaqhubeka nomdlalo ikhona le yeZambia Chanda. Khona yakhe ihamba phansi idliwa ngamakhanda ubuya nalo leli bhola uSticks. Awushintsho oluphoqayo olwenziwa umqeqeshi Desiree Ellis. Michelle Samson awusenkundleni. Iyaqala banyana nangi awucream esala phansi. Free kick ye banyana le. Free kick ye banyana. Tisetso Makhubela azoyisusa le free kick. Rekhodi le Zambia uma uyibheka neNingizimu Afrika lihle. Ngoba emidlalweni emihlanu iZambia inqobe imidlalo yabamine. Awodwa phela nje onqotshwe ibanyana ngoba bagcine ukuhlangana ngonyaka odlule kwiCOSAFA Cup. Umdlalo kwakuyifinali. Umdlalo owaphela ngedraw ka-not. iZambia yasinqoba ngo 4-3 ema penalty. Ithrow in le bayalibanga manje ibhola abadlali. Awuchanda uthi ithrow in yeZambia. Awunompempe uthi ithrow in le ye banyana. Iyahlasela iNingizimu Afrika. Liyabashiya liphumela ngaphandle elidala i-goal kick. 20 minutes uphelile. Not Zambia, not banyana.
A frantic start as Zambia will try and send that long ball up front with the hope that the pace of Barbara Banda, who will give chase at everything that is on offer. Certainly some concerns as Dlamini doesn't look too comfortable. And we've already had a change, a forced change at that. It is Adriel Amibe, good ball over the top from Ramalepe, finding Amokelang Butao. And it had to take experienced Lushomo Mwemba to tidy up for Zambia. Irene Lungu playing the 1-2. Irene Lungu with Grace Chanda. And not on the same page. Kabanga Mupopo on the right-hand side for Zambia is just holding back as South Africa are being pinned into the half. They are very patient, though, in the release of trying to get the ball up front. Siopo Singwe is calling for supply. And, some solid defending and disciplined defending from Zambia, forcing South Africa to rethink, reorganize, and be patient. Karabo Dlamini. Michelle Simpson slightly overcooked. Possession turned over, fortunately now for Linda Mutlalo, who's backtracked in that moment to dispossess a Barbara Banda. Quickly looks up to offer her apologies. Her thumb goes up to say all is well. Long ball from Bane, finding Simpson, and the sun just getting into the eyes and getting the better of Michelle Simpson, straying into an offside position. Simpson, who's just come on for the injured Adriel Amibe. And that is the ball. Tried a bit of a bucket run to stay on side, but was spotted by the referee. Although when I look at it, it's pretty close. Decent ball by Blessing Malumba, the 18-year-old. Free kick for Zambia. Now there's a bit of a stop-start in this game. Is a challenge there on Barbara, being held back by Disetso Makubela.
Jay, you look at me. Jay, you look at me.
So Dlamini's going to have, and looking forward to a busy day at the office. When Zambia go forward, they definitely look the more dangerous side and are not ashamed to shoot from a distance. Rachel Kudananji is given that responsibility. Rachel trying to get the ball over the top and looking for the pace of Barbara, but it had to take the captain who matched that pace and made sure that she doesn't get a free passage. That's Barbara Banda, who looks a bit in a movement. That ball over the top, Barbara was giving chase, and the last touch did come off Ramalepe, and I think that's the reason why Barbara is asking the referee or the assistant referee whether or not they got to see. Certainly from Andile Dlamini, there's a bit of anxiety. She's not comfortable at all in this match thus far. Quick throw in. Gave away possession as Michelle just nicking that ball away. She'll one of those little players that are very nippy, and one of those players that will try and close down at everything that is on offer. Dlamini had to draw out a bit of a sprint to make sure she gets there ahead of Rachel Kudananji, who plays football for Houston Dash. She was, she is the most expensive African footballer, is Rachel Kudananji. Carlo pressing pretty high is Zambia, and South Africa needing to be very cautious. But ball out to the left-hand side. Figile Makama, Linda Mutalo looking for the run being made. Ramalepe is in space, and Siopo Singwe giving the instructions and showing a bit of frustration up front, looking for the supply, looking for the delivery. Kamade forced backwards. Yes, Figile Makama making that mistake that Zambia was looking for, with Andile Dlamini also finding herself off the line. Zambia will be asking the questions, and here is Amogelang Mutau being held back unfairly by Simalia Mapepa. This is the moment with Amogelang Mutau winning that ball, but being held back. I see Omala. So free kick to Banyana and Ramalepe. Looking for the quick return from Kamede. Kamede trying to thread that ball through, and the use of the hand. She's in disbelief. It's a bit of a stop-start. Zambia are a team that is known to try and recover that ball with a bit of explosiveness and a lot of aggression. So their recovery ratio definitely improves. The minute they lose the ball, they try to get it back. Lushomo Mwemba.
No foul, baby. Take the ball.
Garabo. Forced backwards is Kudananji. Simpson. Disetso Makube. Garabo Dlamini uses a goalkeeper Barbara Banda is available and lurking. Disetso Makubela will be forced to get this ball up front. And coming from an offside position is Barbara Banda, and the flag went up almost immediately. Well, just to share the groups at the WAFCON, as the preparations are in earnest for most teams. The tournament will be taking place from the 5th to the 26th of July. So the preparations are in the final stages as another player goes down, and on the receiving end it looks like Linda, but I know it is Amogelang Mutau in that midfield. And the first yellow card is what we're going to see, which will be given to Blessing Maluba for that challenge on Amogelang Mutau. And Blessing Maliba. So South Africa given an opportunity, a free kick just almost on the halfway line, and Amu well to try and control that ball, but Blessing just attacking from the back and trying to win that ball back over the top. Here's Siapa Singwe, fast touch connection, and that was a clear miss. Keeper came out, made a save. Nobody there to capitalize on a beautiful ball brought in by Siapa Singwe. Vigile wants to be quick. And yes, Siapa Singwe will look for the spaces, create space for itself on the edge of the box. Linda Mutalo for South Africa, laying it back to Dlamini. It is Michelle Simpson, and a foul, a free kick in a favorable position for South Africa's Banyana. And down goes Karabo Dlamini. Ball was circulated. Linda Mutalo looking for the run being made. Lovely ball just into space and a good connection. That was the player that just should have scored, but the keeper, you got to give her flowers. Made sure bravely enough to get a hand out, and that was just the player that knew she was going to score that ball rather easily, and keeper had other ideas, and that's the challenge. That's the challenge there by Ms. Nachula. Minutes on the clock, South Africa with the free kick, and 0-0 is the scoreline. Let's allow this free kick and see what South Africa can conjure up as the goalkeepers organizing a wall. It's Amogelang Mutau that's over that ball together with Ms. Kamada. And Siapa Singwe has been closely looked after by Blessing Maluba. Mutau, it's a cross-cutter, that ball just taking a bit of a deflection, and keeper comes out and collects that. So 0-0 after 30 minutes, and goalkeeper stayed down. That's the tackle on Dlamini, holding a knee in pain, grimacing in pain, and that ball, which was a bit of a grass cutter, is a player who's still on the ground of Zambia, receiving medical attention.
abalandeli bashaya ingoma la Lucas Moripe Stadium njengoba uMwemba ephumela ngaphandle athintekile ngemuva kokuthi bezama ukudefenda ibhola ebeliyinkosi ile free kick lebehamba phansi ngaMotawu lishaka kabuhlungu lapha onyaweni lwakhe baphuma naye ngaphandle Lushomo uMwemba idlala iyashoda okwamanje ke la iZambia ama groups azobe emathathu lapha eMorocco. iZambia iku group A ene Morocco Morocco ine DRC ine Senegal. Go group B kukhona iBotswana, kukhona iNigeria, kukhona iTunisia. Go group C kukhona ama defending champions iNingizimu Afrika, kukhona iGhana, kukhona iMali, bese kuba khona iTanzania. Throw in kuthiwa ayiphoswe iZambia. Rachel Natula afuna uKatongo elide ibhola lapha eboxini, lidliwa ngekhanda Tisetso Makhubela, nangu futhi ecisha enza iphutha oMwemba awuyalungisa amaphepha, uyasala lapha Rachel Kundananji. Onompepe uthi akasukume, libuya noRama Mutlalo Kamete esamuke phambili iNingizimu Afrika. Nange uMotawu ekhiphe iphasi ethola Siposinwe, awungena eboxini Siposinwe, athi sibane Siposinwe defender iZambia emuva. Rachel Natula engenela yena eboxini ile yaphasi ekaGamete, iyathola Motawu. Omotawu wadlulisela kuJermaine Siposinwe, wasengena eboxini wasaqeda ngoMwemba, yasifika leya defensive ikhiphela ngaphandle ibhola lika Siposinwe. Shot corner le Magama, Jermaine Siposinwe uyagoba nalithuba lapha eceleni kwepali, amukhelang Motawu, amukhelanga Motawu, ibhola lakhe liphuma eceleni kwepali. Omuhle umnyakazo oqhamuka noMagama, obe onside Siposinwe, awuthuqedela ulivalela phakathi. Motawu lase liphuma nje kancane eceleni kwepali, ibhola lakhe uMotawu. Throw in ibuya neZambia. Rachel Kundananji, ahamba nabo Kundananji. Kundananji unamandla, athi sibone manje iphasi yakhe ifuna uBhanda, liyamshiya ibhola uBhanda, lizobuya lizophoswa iNingizimu Afrika. Nange nje uBhanda offside, obe offside vele uBhanda. Yabuya iBanyana lidliwa ngesithethe Siposinwe. Onompepe uyakhuza, uyawumisa umdlalo, libeko phansi kuzoba i-free kick. Omapepa uhlezi phansi, onyathelwe uSiposinwe. Free kick yaseZambia le, oyaphusha Siposinwe futhi. Awumaphepha akawuqedanga umdlalo ngesikhathi bedlala neBotswana. Indawo yakhe yagcinwa ethathwa uTembo ngesombe sesibili, kodwa namhlanje umdlalo uqalile. Njalo uma kudlala iqembu lesizwe abalandeli bahlezi bekhona enkundleni, nawa namasandawana, ngoba baningi abadlali beSundowns abala enkundleni. Coach Nora lo, umqeqeshi weZambia, uthatha intambo ngoJanuwari kumqeqeshi uBruce Moape, uzalwa lapha eSwitzerland, oke waqeqesha eGhana ngaphambi kokuthi eze la kuzo coacha iZambia. Ngaphambi kwalokho ubeqeqesha iqembu lesizwe lakwa-Israel. Umqeqeshi onamava kakhulu lo, abafuna ukuya ngaye lapha eMorocco abaseZambia. Rachel Natula liyamshiya liphumela ngaphandle. Throw in ibuya neZambia. Karabo Dlamini, isizini yeHollywood Bets Super League akayiqalanga ngoba ubelimela isikhathi eside. Karabo Dlamini ubuyile naseqenjini lesizwe, ubuyile. Natula emuva manje Mwemba, lide ibhola lika Mwemba kodwa uyaliyeka nje uDlamini emapalini, akuthi libeko phansi kube i-goal kick le. waseyisusa enikeza uTisetso Makhubela. Ayikhona iphasi kaMakhubela ithola Samson, liyaphunyuka Samson. Katongo, Karabo Dlamini emuva iyalungisa iBanyana. Dlamini cishe wayifaka enkingeni. Rama litheni waqeda ngabantu ababili uRama nephasi yakhe yinhle. Ngeshwa kufika qala ebholeni uMwemba. Lasephumela ngaphandle. Idefender eliskillful kakhulu uRamalephe. Namhlanje akadlali futhi njengaye fullback. Emuva kwakhe kukhona uMagama. Yena ophethe ambhendi njengoba uRifilwe Jane engekho namhlanje. Throw in yeBanyana le. Ifikile Magama agijimela iUniversity of Western Cape. Nanke futhi ebuya Rama. Motawu basebentshontsha libuya noIrene Lungu. Rachel Nachula. Katongo badlali 1-2 enhle benoNachula. Iyahlasela manje iZambia. Lase liyavinjwa lelia bhola. Kudaleka ikhona. Kudaleka ikhona yeZambia. Kuzofanele babuye bayomaka leya khona abaseningizimu Afrika abayingozi Banda okundananje baade futhi abagadi baseZambia. Athi sibone le khona ithathwa uThanda khona number 3 esewonke kulomdlalo base beyiphakamisa ifuna amakhanda ephuma eceleni kwephali. Ibhola ebelizanwa uyena la uRachel Khundananje. Ngishilo ngathi bayingozi bade futhi nayile khona ophakama bekhona eboxini. Waheda ekhona Tisetso Makhubela laseliphuma eceleni kwephali. Kamete Samson phasela izitha ke uSamson. iZambia ibhola iyaliyeka nje ukuthi liphumele ngaphandle lizobuya lizophoswa iBanyana nange liphosa ngokusheshsha. Motawu Samson lide lase liyavinjwa kusele 5 minutes ukuthi siye khefini. And not Zambia, not iningizimu Afrika.
Free kick as Barbara Banda goes down under the challenger from Karabo Dlamini. And could that be the first yellow card from a Banyana player? In actual fact, it looks like Tisetso Makhubela, who had to stop Barbara in her tracks. And with 5 minutes to go to the first half, South Africa have got some defending to do. There's a player who's on the ground, looks like Tisetso Makhubela, who received a yellow card for that challenge on Barbara. So Tisetso, it's good to see her up on her feet, but grimacing in pain, and been asked to quickly get back into the position. This is the reason why she got a yellow card. Barbara Banda trying to create space for herself, and Tisetso had other ideas to stop her in her tracks and allow the ball to roll over. In the end, also doing a little bit of harm, but I'm sure the medical team will be keeping an eye on that and hoping that they can get her all organized. Mapepa for Zambia. Ball delivered in the box, comfortably into the hands of Dlamini, who takes a dive into the swimming pool. Andile Dlamini asking for the stretcher. The referee, as Tisetso seems to be in one looks at Tisetso Makhubela with some concern. She was one of the 5 changes that was made by coach Desiree Ellis. So Miss Nora Elizabeth looks on and plans words of wisdom for the second half. Also an opportunity to look at the benches, maybe. As Tisetso being stretched off. You're looking at a very, very tightly contested match between the two sides. No, the clearest chances have really fallen for South Africa as O'Malley is been asked to warm up. So just looking at the benches for South Africa, you've got Nonhlanhla Mthandi, you've got Bonola Mokoma and Shakira O'Malley. Well, Gordon Casey, goalkeeper. Regina Makhulula is another player who is in the middle of the park. A nippy midfielder, one that really dictates and directs the traffic, has had a good season with JVW. She's on the bench and itching to make a contribution. Zambia, on the other hand, will look at players like Pauline Gondwe, Mary Wilombe. They could come in, and Margaret Bellemew. And Chileshe is another one of those players that can come in and change the complexion of the match. But right now, bringing on the experience as Leshoma Mwemba is on the ball and decides to go route one. There's nothing wrong with that. She spotted goalkeeper off a line. That is Dlamini. Very experienced. Leshoma Mwemba was part of the World Cup squad. Zambia were eliminated in... it's another danger being played by South Africa at the back. Tied up by Mapepa. Mapepa finding Rachel Kudananji. Kudananji will keep the ball and try and whip it across. She does exactly that. Gets to touch the ball, just bouncing on the edge of the box, but it had to take Amu to tidy up. Forced backwards is Zambia. 2 minutes to be added. Here's Kudananji trying to pass that ball with the outside. Katongo will keep it moving. Rachel whips that ball in. Header from Kamade. An important touch away. As Irene Lungu tries to get a shot. Doesn't get a hold of that. But Zambia trying to keep that momentum going and keeping South Africa on the back foot. With 45 minutes done and dusted, we are in referee's optional time. And goalkeeper Dlamini will take her time. Barbara Banda is just wanting Dlamini to get on with the match. Referee will be looking at those precious seconds and blow a whistle. It's a long ball from Dlamini, looking for Simpson, who goes down rather easily. Our 46-man squad has been selected and still to be cut down. Depending on the tournament rules, there definitely are going to be some players trying to make an impact and force their way into the lineup. Dlamini, who finds herself way off the line. Bane will tidy up. Ramalepe does well to get into space with the hope that a better ball to find her in that position. Catherine Musonda goes the safety first route. Amogelang in a bit of a handball that was used by Mwemba. And that is why Amu was asking the questions. There was a bit of a handball in that moment. So, free kick given to Zambia. Giving chase is Mupopo, who really hasn't seen too much of the ball in the first half. That is Kabange Mupopo, as the referee brings an end to the first 45 minutes. A rather cagey affair, very nervous affair, as both sides are finding it difficult to make use of the opportunities that has been created. So getting into a huddle, Banda has been a revelation, so has Mupopo. We confirm the scoreline at South Africa, no. Zambia, no. Let's have a look at the report card of the first 45 minutes. Slight dominance in possession by Team South Africa, with 3 corners in total. Not that much of the ball going out of the field of play. 6 fouls apiece. And you're looking at the goal attempts. Zambia have enjoyed that, as we see the 3 on target. Well, let's go down to the touchline with Lenabo, who will give you her views of the first 45 minutes.
Well, thank you so much, Gloria. It is halftime here at the Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium, and I'll tell you that Coach Desiree Ellis had to make a change in the 16th minute with Adrielle Mibe out and bringing in University of Fort Hare's Michelle Simpson as a substitute. And I just spoke to the doctor of Banyana Banyana, and she's confirmed that she still needs to assess Mibe, but she has confirmed that the bleeding has stopped. Well, I'll tell you, on the pitch, as we anticipated, it is a tough one, a tight one between these two sides. And I did mention earlier on that we're seeing here a battle of international players, international standards, and as we look forward to the WAFCON that is coming up in Morocco, this is the kind of action that we anticipate. So we'll take a break now, and when we come back, Uvusiwe, along with the team in studio, will unpack the first half and maybe give us an idea of what we can expect when it comes to the changes in the second half.
Between 1901 and the 1970s, some 5 million Mozambican migrant workers rode the night train to come and work the coal and gold mines of the Witwatersrand that built the booming industrial economy of South Africa. This is their story.
A noteworthy documentary.
Night Train, Sunday night at 9:30 p.m, SABC2.
This is the International Friendly.
Absolutely sensational. And for the winner, surely! Would you believe it?
As there's a low ball in and a chance here.
Zambia lead again.
In again. And that's the...
Catch the incredible clash between South Africa and Zambia on Tuesday, 3 June at 2:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus, SABC2 and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
60 years ago, I embarked on a journey to understand the places and the people of this amazing planet we live on. But time moves on, and so do we. Now I'm going back to see what happened to the places and the people I used to know. All these years later, what remains of the wild places? Is there still time for us to make a difference on this small planet?
The longest snake in the world.
A remarkable and thought-provoking documentary series, Wild World Diaries, Friday, 6 June. SABC2.
We are sitting into 45 minutes of action and currently goalless out at the Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium between South Africa as well as Zambia. And of course, as you know, the game may be heating up, but you can trust Shield to keep you cool and dry and fresh for longer. You bring the heat and Shield brings the freshness. Shield, it won't let you down. Let's get some thoughts now coming through from my panelists here this afternoon. I'm going to start with you, Coach Waya. You look at the first 45 minutes. From your viewpoint, what do you make?
Yeah, it was a good game. As you can see, Zambia is very good in the midfield. They're dominating there. And then, but when you look at South Africa, they try to play the ball on the wider side, which is very good. I see Ramalepe doing well up front there, and so passing. They understand each other, which is what we've been missing all along. And then you look at Mudau always trying to add the numbers in attack. I think maybe we would have maybe really like a one goal up to so far, because I'm so happy with South Africa. Even at the back, they're compact. They are there for the. Then for Zambia, I see they're like playing this girl, Banda. Alone, maybe they're trying to say, okay, this first half, Sasa Juang, and then second half will come out, run into them. Maybe it's one of the game plan here, Coach Nora.
Indeed. Janine, one thing that may be concerning for a lot of people, yes, South Africa have had the opportunities, but the fact that after 45 minutes, we have 0 shots on target.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have been, the goalkeepers have been kept quiet. I think the midfield of both teams are doing exceptionally well, doing their job. Final third entries of both teams have been lacking a little bit of the final product. But I think the game is quite even for me. I think the defenders of Banyana Banyana has kept Barbara Banda very quiet. You can see that the Zambian players look for over-the-top balls, and they're not successful in that. And I think with the defence line dropping and not allowing that space has been really good. But it was the first scare in the first couple of minutes with Barbara Banda paying a ball to Rachel, but just touched it a little bit further. But that was the first scare of the game for Banyana Banyana, not to allow Barbara to be able to turn and face their goal and put in a defensive splitting pass like that. But after that, hardly any chances came by, and I think both teams did pretty well in dominating the game.
Pretty well in dominating the game. This was the real piece of action we saw early on in this encounter, just on the first minute, Banda there to Rachel. And then Coach Anna Wayamunate Rebuwaka in the 24th minute, we see Zambia once again coming in attack against Ningizim Africa. And we speak to Elebogang Ramalepe, her experience coming in to ensuring that they don't find the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, under that 24th minute, that was a free kick. Elor Zambia, we thought, but was like a straight shot, but it was a clever free kick, because if Ramalepe was not there, remember this girl, honestly, Banda was going to control that ball and punish it. But experience Ramalepe, she can go, she's a box-to-box player.
And
she's speedy and she's smart. She's skinny, but she's very smart, technically, because she knows...
Slender but smart.
You get it? So that's why I like Ramalepe most of the time. But remember, Ramalepe, she's not the right back, honestly. She's a winger. That is why you can see today she's outstanding. And you look at Siopa Singh, she's always getting services, supply and support and cover all the time. That's when we need to have this kind of players when you go to Morocco.
Indeed, and we look at those first 2 chances coming through from Zambia, which were quite solid, and then we had South Africa coming in, where you had Sonda then being forced to come and protect her goal line.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's end-to-end stuff, and you can see both of them testing the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper did extremely well, I think, being brave enough to put her body on the line and get that. But it's also a glimpse of what Banyana is about, looking to play Jermaine over the top and feeding the balls into the midfield, into the danger area. So well done to the keeper. But again, nothing clear as yet for either of the teams.
Indeed. So, Coach Waya, when we look into the second 45 minutes, what are you looking for in terms of the style of play to change from Coach Desiree Ellis's troops? Are you happy with how they've come out?
I think the best thing is to play our normal football. We have players that can run. Karabo on the other side, she's balanced. And when you look at the right-hand side, so this is quite good for us to keep the ball position, rotate the ball. Once you keep the ball position all the time, that's when Zambia will be frustrated. We don't have to play their game, because now they have players that will come from the bench. Banali speedy, they're smarter, they're very much composed in front of the goals. So I think this is Rina as South African. Let us play South African football. And simple, less touches. Let us not run with the ball. Let Zambia battle ball.
And we look here, Janine, at the opportunity that came in for South Africa just after the half-hour mark.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, Jermaine, you could say one that she needed to lay the ball off, but there's one player in the box, Samson, that's come out to help her. So for me, you know, either decide to take a shot, but I think she tried to do one too much. in this moment. I thought there she has a really good boot on her, strike it and see what happens, make the goalkeeper save, but having only one number in the box really made her indecisive of a decision. But looking at this one, Matao is then doing absolutely fantastic for me on the day. She's a hard worker. She wins her midfield battle. She gets into the box. And just unfortunate that she couldn't get this one on target.
And that was basically one of the last opportunities we saw coming through in the first 45 minutes for South Africa. It is still goalless after 45 minutes. So we'll be looking for things to change when we get into the second half. What are those changes? We've already seen a forced change being made for South Africa with Mibe being taken off and Samson coming on for her. What other changes are you expecting to see for South Africa in the second half?
I think because that was a forced change, honestly speaking, maybe because she was bleeding. I'm looking at players like Gordon, and we have these players for...
Not just because her boss is here.
No. I mean, we have Mukholula, who can stabilize the midfield and defense, because Uguti as a defender, but she's a very smart player where she can play switch and transition play, because why earlier I said South African football. So how we ready changes? We ready changes this shouldn't declare to the Kenya for whatever now you've been implementing during the week. So Mukholula, if Atamola then Bula Zambia for the counter-attack for breaking the lines.
I would definitely push maybe Linda up into a 10 role. I mean, she's so restricted playing as a defensive midfielder. I think her qualities are missing. I think, just changing the system a little bit, play with 2 attacking midfielders and potentially be in the Zambian half a little longer.
Indeed. We look at Coach Nora, not much changes in her starting 11 coming into the game, just a single one. Do they change anything going into the second half?
Yeah, I think they need to bring in number 21. We are talking about Chuluba. She's a very speedy player, very short, very snap, nippy. And then I'll take the number 17 out because she looked heavy and lost up front there.
All right, number 17 looking heavy and up front, and that's Rachel. I mean, we saw that first opportunity coming from her very early on in the game. Of course, this afternoon's encounter coming to you from the Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium, where we have yet another 45 minutes of action that awaits us. Let's take you to Gloria Brown and Tulisile Mia in commentary.
kakhulu uMangcobo isombe esesibili sizoqala nakanjani la Lucas Moripe Stadium njengoba siye ekhefini isikole sithi North Ningizimu Afrika North Zambia yashintsha ke manje iZambia bafuna ukufaka enkundleni uMessi iChipa Sula awuyena abamfaka ngaphakathi manje enkundleni umupopa uyaphuma awengabonakali nangokhalo ngesombe soqala umupopa bayamdonsa manje bamkhiphela ngaphandle kungena uChipa Sula emdlalweni wabo neBotswana waqala ebenchini umdlalo uChipa Sula wangena enkundleni wafika wawushintsha umdlalo ngesombe sesibili sizobona ke la namhlanje ukuthi awuzokwazini ukwenza izinto abezenza ngesikhathi bedlala neBotswana uMessi Chipa Sula iningizimu Afrika ayishintshanga ibuye njengoba kade iqalile umdlalo throw in le bayinikeza iyona la iZambia naba manje bephisana ke ngebhola athi sibona ke le through ball ayikhona kodwa ke wasedlala kahle kakhulu emuva Rachel Nachula ephutha ebeleziwa idefense yase Zambia uyingozi uJermani Isiposinwe bayazi nabo ukuthi uma ngabe bemiyeka awuzobalimaza bedlala neBotswana uyena wavula lenkundla ngegoli lokuqala waphinda futhi wabuya washaya lesibili Jermaine Siposinwe Karabo Dlamini awuyaphosa kodwa oliphosela izitha lase liyavinjwa nanke manje ke uGamete eDlamini throw in kuthiwa alibuya amabhola ke mabili ke manje enkundleni throw in yeNingizimu Afrika Uma ngabe umdlalo uphela izinto zimi kanje, eNingizimu Afrika izohlala phezulu kule qoqo ngo4 points ngoba emidlalweni wokuqala banqobile ngo3-2. Uma ngabe bedlala idraw la bazoba na 4 points. iZambia izoba na 2 points ngoba umdlalo wokuqala neBotswana badlale idraw ka1-1. Kodwa isikhathi sisesiningi kakhulu sisazobona ukuthi lesombe sesibili sisiphatheleni. Michelle Samson sala phansi ogamede nange libeke esifubeni manje uJuice uyaliphakamisa ofuna oRamalepe base beshayisana kabuhlungu ke abadlali bashayisana kabuhlungu abadlali oMwemba bashayisana kabuhlungu emakhanda kozofanele bangene ngokusheshsha bosizo lokuqala. Uyabona nje indlela abalele ngayo lapha phansi ukuthi isimo asihle neze isimo asihle neze kubona bobabili abadlali uRama bese kuba uMwemba center back yase Zambia. Ibhola ebelilide ekhanda kabuhlungu nje bobabili. Akhumbule ngesombe sokuqala iBanyana iyenze ushintsho awubeliphoqa ngoba uMibe oshawe ibhola ebusweni wopha base bemkhipha indawo yakhe yasithathwa uMichelle Samson. Baphuma nabo ke labadlali abalimele uMwemba nangu ucoach Nora uyabuza la ukuthi uyakwazi ukuqhubeka noma simshintshe. Uyayibona leya sign ukuthi othi sishintshe noma uyaqhubeka yini nomdlalo. Nangu noRama angathi uzoqhubeka uRama. Hayi quality yomdlali le ogijimela iqembu le Mamelodi Sundowns. Uyabuya uyaqhubeka nomdlalo oRamalepe nanka kunesmile ebusweni buka Desiree Ellis. Uyabona la uMwembe oyena umuntu olimele kakhulu la, oyena umuntu othintekile kakhulu. Awubheke angiboni ukuthi uzobuya usekhumule nje namakhokho. Center back Lushomo Mwemba baphuma naye uRamalepe nanka umile ku touchline. Azobuya azoqhubeka nomdlalo uRamalepe. Ayisimo sibi bahamba naye uLushomo Mwemba. Iyaqala manje iZambia emuva Blessing Maluba balikhiphela ngaphandle idlala iyashoda iZambia ithrow in le izothathwa iNingizimu Afrika Magama. Yabona lapha ebhentshini bakhona abadlali abangabasebenzisa uMargaret Belemu basebhentshini oZulu basebhentshini. Uthi sibone manje Ramalepe ikhona leyamshiya eliphumela ngaphandle base beshintsha nangempela. Pauline Zulu uyangena uMwemba akasabuyi awushintsho oluphoqayo. Iyaqala manje laphana ke iZambia emuva Maluba Elite Musoda throw in izobuya neBanyana base beliphosa enye futhi ithrow in le enye futhi ithrow in yeNingizimu Afrika. Uma ngabe kuhlangene lamaqembu omabili ohlezi unzima umdlalo begcina ukuhlangana umdlalo waphela ngedraw ka-not kwi-COSAFA Cup. iZambia yanqoba ngo-4-3 emaphenathini. Ngo-2021 futhi iZambia yanqoba ngo-1-0 ishaya iBanyana Banyana kwakuyiyona i-COSAFA Cup. eMorocco iBanyana yanqoba ngo-1-0 ishaya iZambia. igoli elangena ngemzuzu yokugcina kwaba yiphenathi eyavalelwa phakathi uLinda Mhlalo. baphinde badlala omunye umdlalo womngane waphela ngo-3-0 kunqoba lona ilizwe laseZambia. iZambia ijwayele ukuyithwalisa kanzima iNingizimu Afrika, kuthiwa akaliphose nathula. kuthiwa akahlehle nje la unathula. Rachel throw in manje izobuya neNingizimu Afrika. bayiqala emuva ku-sticks ubambanani uyaliphakamisa ibhola lide liyavinjwa ikhanda likaBlessing Maluba. Chipasula baningi kuyena uChipasula, balintshontsha balidla nangempela enyaweni zakhe Motawu. Udlale kahle kakhulu ngesombe sokuqala Motawu. Gamete inhle pass kaGamete, nanke-ke manje Michelle Samsini. Dlamini liyavinjwa ibhola emuva. ayikhulumi manje leya defense yaseZambia. athi sibona ijubane likaBhanda umkadini ubambanani. nanke ziphuthu ubambanani, nanke manje-ke uBhanda uyaligoba leliya bhola kodwa lide kakhulu kufika kuqala uMagama. amaphutha ongafanele bawenze lapha emuva abaseNingizimu Afrika ngoba unyazi lomdlali ijubane lodwa kuBhanda. awubambanani wavele nje wanza iphutha. Karabo Dlamini triple izitha. throw ini ngenhlanhla kuthiwa ayiphoswe iNingizimu Afrika. Makhubela onikeza uDlamini bobabili badlala kwi-Sundowns. wabajoyina uJuicy naye futhi udlala kwi-Sundowns. abadlali laba ababekhona ngo-2022 iBanyana inqoba iWAFCON. uJuicy uyaliphakamisa. Ramalepe nange hamba nabantu Ramalepe athi sibone Rama uyalifesa uRama ikhona liyavinjwa emuva Blessing Maliba. elihle ibhola nange manje-ke uBhanda usala phansi nayi free kick. usenkingeni ubambanani. usenkingeni ubambanani. awuhlezi phansi uBarbara Bhanda. akujubane kuyafiwa awubheke nje ubambanani wamudla maqakala ubesesele ubambanani. buka ungemuva. nange hlala phansi uBhanda. ukapteni lo waseZambia uyasukuma uzoqhubeka nomdlalo. 10 minutes wesombe sesibili uphelile manje. not Banyana, not Zambia.
Barbara being dealt with by Bambanani Mbane, as there were some concerns about that foul. When one thought that we would be seeing a red card, we get to see the free kick. So South Africa being let off the hook there, but good decision nevertheless by the referee, and a player being bundled off. The ball is Kamede. Here's Amukhelang Mutau getting stuck into it as Rachel Kudananji gives chase. And Ramalepe tries to tidy up as Fikile Magama will have the last word. She plays it with Bambanani Mbane in that defense. If ever, I'm sure Coach Desiree Ellis would have had a strong talking to her defenders. They are found wanting on a number of occasions for pace, but here's Zambia playing it back to Musono. Kamete navigates Amukhelang Mutao. There's Ramalepe, who loses out momentarily, as Muini is the player that was stretched off. Some concerns, and he's being currently investigated. Leshoma Muima, who had quite a good first half, was very instrumental in that defense for Zambia, gave them a bit of balance. But here's Chanda, Grace Chanda, looking for Barbara Bandu, who appears to be a very frustrated figure. Linda Mutlalo spreads the ball to the left-hand side and finds Karabo Dlamini. Simpson will need to be a lot more cautious in that approach, showing a little too much of the ball, giving chase, and strongly at that is Rachel Nachula. South Africa chasing the game, and two almost evenly poised players looking for the same prize, which is 3 points in this tournament. Botswana, who lost to South Africa by 3-2, went on to play a draw with Zambia. And foul throw by South Africa. Responding rather quickly is Irene Lungu. Barney will tidy up. Here's Ramalepe. He's really had a good day at the office in the position, given the captain's armband, showing some good intelligence. Gamede can go out wide to the right-hand side where Fikile Magama is available, but turns into the midfield, tries to find a Ramalepe. Simpson playing the 1-2 with Mutlalo. Being bundled off the ball rather easily is Rachel Nachula, making sure that Linda Mutlalo is not given the room, the space, the time. Expectation is to be a lot quicker. So Dlamini gets stuck into it. Strong challenge there on Linda Mutlalo. Barbara Banda, who is Africa's all-time top scorer in Olympic football history, scoring 3 hat-tricks, still a player that continues to set the pace, set the tone, as Barbara Banda today has had her work cut out. Karabo to take the throw-in, playing for Orlando Pride. Ramalepe will just allow that ball to go over the line for a throw-in. Still missing from the South African squad. So we have a look at some of the technology that is on display here. So the video analyst is looking on and watching for those close decisions. How game is improved, and the technology playing a huge role. Kudananji on the ball, has 2 players to deal with, but standing firm is Tisetso Makubela. Simpson, Jami Kamede, winning that ball back, and last touch to Simpson is will be a throw-in for Zambia. Siopo Singwe. Simpson hustles away, got the return ball. Here's Amukhelang Mutao. Former Richmond United player Michelle Sampson. also now playing a football out at the University of Port Hare, showing some great form that has deservedly given her a nod in the Banyana outfit. Miss Samson, Karabo Dlamini, Mamelodi Sundowns player that also had a nasty injury. Was out of action for about 3 months, and so was Bambanani Mbane, who did well to get herself ready. Mistake being made at the back, but Zambia tidy up. Here's Katongo. Everine Katongo. Here's Fikile Magama. Gamede. Fikile Magama is available. Bambanani Mbane. Walking pace using the goalkeeper who's left a line. That is Andile Dlamini. Magama finding Matlalo. Matlalo can go back to Magama. Instead goes for Siopo Singwe. Keeper will win that one. And the offside flag also goes up in pursuit of South Africa's attackers. Siopo Singwe has run her socks off. As giving chase as Rachel needs a good delivery in the last touch coming off Fikile Magama, just closing off the corner count, something that will help South Africa to deal with the standard situations, get your defensive organization. He decides we'll leave it for Chanda. Grace Chanda, the 27-year-old Grace Chanda. It's a good delivery, ball is in the air, header, and that goes over the bar. So pretty difficult for Barbara. She's one of those players that will always be present and peripheral in the attack of Zambia. She's not to be given much room, is Barbara Banda. What a season did Grace Chanda have in the Premier Division of Madrid. That was way back in 2023-24 season. 22-23 season was quite an impressive season as Amogelang Mutau tried to connect and was held back, and the free kick given to the Banyana outfit. Still finding it difficult to get that ball to Siopo Singwe. The referee having to get a bit of education across and, you know, throwing some caution to the players. Just seeing a yellow card to Disetso Makuela, as well as Blessing Maluba. The crowd are trying to get the ladies to get over the line. How important is that 12th man? Some beautiful colors out there, and people have come out in their numbers to see if Banyana can raise your game a little bit more. They prepare for the tournament that will take place in July. While Group A proving to be rather difficult group with Morocco, Zambia, Senegal and DR Congo in the Group B, Nigeria, Tunisia, Algeria and Botswana. In Group C is South Africa, Ghana, Mali and Tanzania. Well, truly those are the three groups, and COSAFA has got 3 representation in South Africa, Zambia and Botswana, and the 3 nations. That is the moment that we've been able to see in this 3 Nations tournament, the 3 teams preparing very well for the tournament that lies ahead.
ayifaka ebhokisini kodwa ibeka bonke abadlali baseNingizimu Afrika. Iphumela ngaphandle izobuya izophoswa. Lamazwe okhuluma ngawo omathathu Gloria enze kahle kakhulu. Rugby WAFCON yango 2022 njengoba sikhuluma ukuthi iSouth Africa obeta iZambia yaphuma ku number 3 nakhona iguqisa ilizwe elinzima kakhulu eNigeria ngo-1-0 iBotswana yayidlala okokuqala imidlalo yeWAFCON kodwa baphuma kuma quarter finals sizobona ke ukuthi kulonyaka azokwenze njani lamaqembu njengoba omathathu ebuyela khona eMorocco fikile magama oyena okhiphele ngaphandle leli bhola throw in ibuya neZambia nange awuthanda benokhunda nanje bayabaphazamisa liphumela ngaphandle iyasondela nje kancane iZambia khunda nanje kuthiwa abaliphose maphepha lidliwa ngekhanda ubhanda laseliyavishwa uMakhubela Motawu dlala kahle kakhulu uMotawu awumbheke nje awubheke naleya phasi ayangavuma kahle neze iphasi kaMotawu ngaphambi kokuthi athole amadlelo ahlaza eMexico uMotawu oyena owavotelwa njengane player of the season ku-Hollywood Bets Super League ngonyaka odlule uMotawu egijimela i-University of Western Cape wasethola amadlelo ahlaza njengoba esedlala lapha eMexico nangu futhi manje noTisetso uMakhubela naye manje unenkinga onyaweni bayamelula manje Tisetso uMakhubela ayikakashintshi iBanyana ibhentshi bakhona lapha oRegina Mkhulula umthandi okhona ebhentshini uShakira uOmali okhona ebhentshini omangabe umqeqeshi efuna ukwenza inguquko ushintsho nje ulolo lodwa obeliphoqa Luka Samson nangu manje baphuma naye la umthandi noma la uTisetso uMakhubela ibabalandela bakhona la benkundleni abaqeqeshi akujabulisi neze ukubabona belinyalelwa abadlali isikhathi sisondela kangaka eseWAFCON nanka la uMotawu waluwina leliya bhola obethi uyadlulisa lase liyavijwa throw in Karabo Dlamini enye futhi izobuya iphoswa lapha phambi kwebhentshi elamaCopper Queens yashintsha iZambia uKatongo uyaphuma Priska Chilufya uyangena ubhanda akalibonanga edlalayo namhlanje kuleya defense yeBanyana ubhanda awilophe osenkundleni aphumile manje ukapteni iNingizimu Afrika namanje ayikakashintshi kodwa azoshintsha ngokuhamba kwesikhathi umdlalo uyaqhubeka uGamede kuyaphoqa ukuthi ahlehle manje ayodlala lapha emuva ngoba i-center back iphumile ilimele uTisetso uMakhubela Chanda abuya nalo lelo bhola uGamede Mpane Motawu uyalidla skillfully okhunda nanje athi sibone khunda nanje uyaliphakamisa laseliyavijwa kahle kakhulu uDlamini Siposinwe ade nyamalele nayi iphase ingozi manje nangesala phansi la uRamalepe bayamvipha livinjwa uRachel Nachula iyashintsha manje iNingizimu Afrika iyashintsha iNingizimu Afrika akasabuyi omakhubela kungena umthandi ophuma umdlali weSundowns kungena umdlali weSundowns bedlala neBotswana umthandi umdlalo oqale ebhentshini manje umaphakathi ke enkundleni ashintsho olwenziwa uDesiree siyabona manje uKhamete uyena ozodlala lapha emuva noBambanani lidliwa ngekhanda uyena uBambanani nange manje ekhunda nanje Motlalo first touch le kaMthandi ewa-2 yakhe la uMotawu laseliyantshontsha uWilombe afaka ipressure ufaka incindezi Mthandi lela bhola liphumela ngaphandle throw in yeBanyana Banyana yabona la goalkeeper asikakababoni besebenza nange la uCatherine Musonda lokhu nje ekhombe njalo athi sibone manje ke la uRamalepe liphakeme iflag kuthiwa offside Rama awudlala ngokukhulu nje ukuyimisela uRama ayikhona akuyona i-offside le ophume nje phakathi kwabo uRamalepe umsisi kaNopepe wavele waliphakamisa iflag Motawu Ramalepe base bemnyathela free kick le ihamba ne-yellow card free kick ihamba ne-yellow card uyabona uma ngabe kuthiwa khona umuntu ongatholela igoli iNingizimu Afrika uyena uRama manje yellow card free kick yeNingizimu Afrika izothathwa uBongeka Gamede athi sibone le free kick Gamede uyayiphakamisa yaphakuza inethi Ngentaba ugoalkeeper Catherine Musonda Bongeka Gamede elihle igoli enhle ifree kick amagoli bekunzima kulomdlalo ukuthi aqhamuke uma ngabe kudlala na-set piece wayibeka phakathi uBongeka Gamede obheke nje ikude kanjani wadayiva waphela ugoalkeeper Catherine Musonda wayibeka phakathi uGamede former University of Western Cape captain le agijima lapha eDenmark manje uyabona nje ukuthi ubeyazi into abeyenza uGamede nakhe uMama Joy iyamjabulisa iNingizimu Afrika manje 1-0 kusele 15 minutes igoli elikhulu leli Gloria Elshawa isuperstar uGamede
They try and solidify and maybe even increase the lead. Was a very, very well taken free kick that was scored by Bongeka Gamede. Bongeka Gamede, the goal scorer, player who has moved on from UWC, and she's playing her football out in Denmark for FC Nordsjælland. and has been an integral player in that side since coming on, just slotting into that starting lineup and showing a lot of hunger. Ramalepe playing with a smile. She's really put in a fantastic performance. The captain on the day. Garabo, Linda, Ramalepe. The free kick being given to Zambia. Grace Chanda gracefully gets up and gets into the business, gets back into her position. Quite a dangerous player is Grace Chanda. Mistake there, but good recovery by Mbane. Ball still lingering. Rachel, who got a connection and connected that ball, but coming from an offside position, good decision taken. Well, Rachel, one of a few of the highest paid footballers from Africa, earning about £500,000 per annum, and signing a 4-year contract with the 5th-year option to renew. Certainly one of Africa's highest paid players, and being closed down by Ms. Kamere. Good cover defense by Dlamini. Ramalepe, who didn't realize that the player was down and should have played that ball out. Simpson looking for Amukhelang. South Africa trying to pay out of trouble. Here's Samson. Samson picks her head up, finds Linda Mutalo. Ramalepe with acres of space on the wide area. Will need a good delivery. Did well to stay on side. Keeper comes out of position, and Zambia do well to get it away. Priska Kamede deals with that ball in that defensive half, as Mtandi, who's come on in and just given a little bite in the midfield. Dlamini, Mutalo. Zambia win it back. Good ball there by Mary Wilombe. Strong running by Mercy Chipasula. She has to deal with Bambanani Mbane, who calm, collectively, applies the safety first, knocks it out for a throw-in, and that will allow her team to get back into position. Throw-in taken as Mercy shows some skill and footwork. Samson looks for Linda, helps it on to find Ramalepe with acres of space. It's Dlamini on the ball. South Africa in cruise control. Happy hour as we get to see Amukhelang Mutau keeping possession, and commentators curse is saying so, and it is Priska. Keeper, good communication. Down she goes as she collects that ball. Experience showing for Banyana in these moments. Kamede. This is that beautiful strike with goal written all over it, and player going down. Referee not interested in that challenge. The player stayed down there. Looks like Siopo Sengwe, that ultimately calling for the medical team. And, she gives the instruction to say, nope, I'm okay. I'll be... As we have a look at this goal from a different angle, showing the delight. Keeper was at full stretch, and Dlamini loving every moment. They say dynamites come in small packages, and that was one of those from one of the shortest players on the field. That's Ms. Kamede. Singwe being asked to leave the field and will make her way back onto the field once the 4th official gives her the nod. South Africa down to 10 players at the moment. Ramalepe showing her defensive duties is Ramalepe. Still asking for permission to get into the field is Siopo Singwe. And a throw in for Zambia. They are looking for the equalizing goal as Zambia. Rachel Nachula. She's got some strong hands on her. It will be a long ball into the box, helped on, and comfortably into the hands of Andile Dlamini, player who's done exceptionally well for Mamelodi Sundowns, who are on top of the Hollywood Bets Super League, yet to concede a single goal as Mamelodi Sundowns, as Dr. Ehlers, who is plotting with her technical team. And here's Siopo Singwe. Siopo Singwe on with the money! You cannot give her the space. You cannot give her the room. That's Jermaine Siopo Singwe, a predator of note. South Africa get the second goal. And for a deserving player, has been able to rip that defense into pieces. It's a mountain decline for Zambia. The Copper Queens being taken to shreds here at the Lucas Masterpieces Maripe Stadium. He's loving it in celebration. And this being perhaps the final match before South Africa make their way to Morocco. Good to see some of the players put their hand up. It was a mistake made by Pauline Zulu in that defense, and is Rachel Kuthananji looking for an opportunity for Priska. That ball just goes over the woodwork. Priska. It's brought on in the second half to make a difference. One of 4 changes made by coach Nora. Losing her footing at a vital moment is Ms. Dlamini. Gamede, the bounce of the ball, but Deceiving does well to win that ball back. Great intelligence by Ms. Gamede. Throw in for South Africa. Dlamini, she's had a good day at the office. Ball intercepted by Zambia. Siopo Singwe looking for Samson. Instead, it's a bit of a hospital pass. Mutlalo, Gamede. Mutlalo looking for Samson. She's on a bicycle as Michelle does well to tear down the defense. Needs to play it back with the hope of trying to bring in an Amogelang, and was intercepted there by Zambia's defense. Samson given the opportunity to stretch her legs. She does have decent pace on her. And the 5th change by Zambia, ready to come on, is Frida Mukoma, player who plays a football out for Zambian, also being a product at Green Buffaloes, who's been very instrumental in the development of women's football in Zambia. Header, that ball goes over the top. Green Buffaloes, a very well-respected team. Number of players there who are soldiers that are part of the army. As we have a look at Ms. Dlamini go route 1, and that is the importance of a goalkeeper, to spot the danger. And it was just 2 players who got involved to put the icing on the cake. Siopo Singwe to make it 2-0 in favor of South Africa's Banyana Banyana. Frida Mukoma comes on for Rachel Nachula. So Zambia is allowing the players a bit of a moment to share the responsibility. Well, truly, it's the last 5 minutes to go, and South Africa have done the job with the 2 goals to the good, as Amanda Andile Dlamini goes down. So we'll have a look at the goals that have got us to this particular point. That will be done in a moment or 2. So South Africa, these are the goals. It was some hard work there by Siopo Singwe who picked a spot, did ever so well to ride a challenge, and did well to curl that ball. Great technique shown. So 2-0 in favor of Banyana Banyana.
Elihle igoli lesibili leNingizimu Afrika. Jermaine Siposinwe igoli lakhe lesithathu kule mdlalo, ngoba emdlalweni wokuqala ushaya amagoli amabili, yashintsha iBanyana. Amokgelang Motawu uyaphuma, Regina Mukhulula uyangena, umdlali ogijima kwi-JVW. Oqalile umdlalo ngesikhathi bedlala neqembu lase eBotswana benqoba ngo-3-2. Umdlalo umile ngoba nangu u-Andile Dlamini awuthintekile, kodwa uyasukuma uyaqhubeka nomdlalo. Amagoli omabili angene ngesombe sesibili. Free kick enhle kaSima, wasebuya noSiposinwe washaya elihle igoli. Athi sibone manje la ukhundana nje, kodwa liyamshiya leliya bhola. Goal kick ika-Andile Dlamini. Yabona iBanyana ibuye ishintshile ukudlala ngesombe sesibili. Ibaphoqa ukuthi abenze amaphutha emuva kwi-defense yaseZambia, engakho bekwazile ukuthola lamagoli. Nangu uMthandi, iphasi yakhe kodwa iyavinjwa, ibuya manje no-Irene Lungu. Nange manje-ke uLungu, iphasi kaLungu kodwa awukhadile uGamede. Umthandi usala phansi, Umthandi. Nangu namanje uDlamini akazizwa kahle, kodwa umdlalo uyaqhubeka. Chipasula alindi support, Chipasula wasefika khundana nje, incenga nje iZambia. Chipasula Wilombe, Chipasula uyadlula kuMthandi, onfaka ebhoksini. Lizoba inkosi leliya bhola. Badala ikhona abaseNingizimu Afrika, badala ikhona naba nabalandeli baseZambia bephethe iflegi laseZambia. Ikhona iyothathwa uThanda odlala lapha e-USA kwi-Orlando Pride. Uyena ozothatha le corner kick. Thanda athi sibone ikhona yeZambia, uyayiphakamisa, uyadefenda uRamalepe. Wilombe bafuna u-Irene Lungu, bayamthola uLungu, ophakamisa amehlo uLungu, ofaka lapha ebhoksini. Waseliyeka nje ubambanani ukuthi akalithathe Andile Dlamini. Kusele nje amanenjana ukuthi kuhlangane i-90 minutes. Sizobe sesibheka ukuthi mingaki imzuzu ezokwengezwa. Motawu idlala ngokukhulu ukuzethemba manje iBanyana. Siposinwe osala phansi, oSiposinwe iyancenga manje ijubane la likaFrida Mkoma, yamshiya igoal kick le. Yasihlangana i-90 minutes, kwengezwa 4 minutes. Frida Mkoma awungena nje khona manje endaweni kaRachel Nathula. Isikhathi kodwa sihambile, ayikhona naba benza iphutha ke manje ke uGamede. Athi sibone uFrida Mkoma, ibhola lakhe liphuma eceleni kwepali. Frida Mkoma umdlali lo abajwayele ukumsebenzisa ngesombe sesibili. Nangu umshayi wegoli elikhulu namhlanje la eLucas Moripe Stadium, Osma uGamede. Dlamini bayamphazamisa uDlamini, waselithatha manje la Priska alifaka ebhoksini uyalithatha uDlamini. Uyalithatha ngokukhulu ukuzethemba ibhola lika Priska Chilufya. Andile Dlamini idliwa ngekhanda Irene Lungu. Asisibone manje la umnyakazo weZambia ayasikaza indlela iyavalwa nangu manje ke uLungu. Lungu uthola chanda bafunela ukubika ekhaya manje ke abaseZambia. Chilufya onamandla uKrimu oKarabo Dlamini othola uRama basebelidla manje kuya no Irene Lungu. Rama Lepe aliphumile leliya bhola likhishwa uyena uRama base beliphosa ngokusheshsha. Mthandi goal kick yeNingizimu Afrika le nangu uDesiree Ellis. Uma ngabe izinto zihamba kanje kusho ukuthi uyabona umsebenzi awenzayo amalungiselelo ahamba kahle ngapha uNora coach waseZambia ofike nje ngoJanuary kule qembu laseZambia. Athi sibone manje ke uthanda badlalela emuva ke manje abaseNingizimu Afrika idlalela nje ey'tsheni ey'fayo iBanyana badlalela nje endaweni eyingozi. Throw in yaseZambia ibhola likhishwe uBambanani base beliphosa. Awubheke nje ibhola lingozi naba bezama ukuliphakamisa. Athi sibone manje uWilophe uyalincenga nakhe manje Chilufya awuzama ukushaya lapha ibhola lika Blessing Maluba liphuma kude kakhulu namapali. Angazi kungani behlezi emuva manje abaseNingizimu Afrika abasayi phambili bayayimema nje iZambia ukuthi uzani izozenzela nje epalini lo mdlalo uyangokuya manje ke uyaphela. Throw in yeBanyana le Karabo Dlamini ozophosa ibhola leNingizimu Afrika. Left back yeBanyana le nangephosa bathola Ramalepe laseliyavija ibhola lide uyaliyeka nje uJusi emapalini uzochitha isikhathi sakhe lapha uDlamini ngoba uyazi ukuthi lo mdlalo usungaphela noma yinini. Nangempela nangu noPepe eshakanye eshakabili eshakathathu indweba yakhe uyawuqeda umdlalo la eLucas Moripe Stadium. Phela iscore sithi 2 iBanyana nothi ilizwe laseZambia. Amagoli angene ngesombe sesibili uKamete kanjalo noJermaine Siposilwe. iBanyana le 3 Nations Challenge iwine yomibili imidlalo baqale baguqisa iBotswana ngo 3-2 naba futhi manje beguqisa iqembu laseZambia ngo-2-0. Amahle amagoli omuhle futhi umdlalo esubonile naba abadlali nangumshayi wegoli elihle uKamete. Le free kick ngeke aze ayikhohlwe uKamete iyona evule inkundla yathi 1-0 iBanyana. Wasebuya Siposinwe washaya igoli lesibili layo iNingizimu Afrika. Yabona injabulo inkulu kakhulu kulabadlali beBanyana. Naike i-full time score South Africa 2 iZambia 1. Athi sibone ama-stats ukuthi agcine ehamba kanjani kulo mdlalo. Ngokwe-ball possession iNingizimu Afrika ingaphezulu ngo-55% ku-45. Amakhona kulo mdlalo agcine eyisikhombisa 5 aweZambia 2 kwiNingizimu Afrika. Ama-yellow card kanjalo abekhona 3 iyodwa kwiBanyana abamabili eqenjini. la khona eZambia umdlalo abawusezingeni eliphezulu lo njengoba silokhu shilo ukuthi amaqembu alungiselela okuya lapha eMorocco thatha zonke intambo sizinikeza ulonwabo ku touchline.
And thank you so much to the Disky Queen and our other commentator, Gloria Brown. Well, I will tell you it ends 2-0, and I do have the player of the match. Whether she is in the yellow of Banyana Bastila or Banyana Banyana, she always holds it down, and it is Lebogang Ramalepe. Lebu, Captain Fantastic for the day. Congratulations. What does it mean for you? I'll first give the opportunity to Dean Somerset of Cecil to hand over the check for the player of the match. And it is a 10,000 Rand check from a long-time sponsor for Banyana Banyana, that is Cecil. Captain Fantastic, just before WAFCON, this is the performance that you produce with Banyana Banyana. Let's start with your performance. I mean, the team has gone through a lot, some illnesses here and there, but there you go, once again proving the fight that is within the team and winning today against Zambia.
Yeah, I think overall it was a tough one after most of our players had Tomotoraki flu, but I think the resistance that we gave today, but another thing here again is to continue because it's part of preparation. I think all in all, we just need to be proud of ourselves for today because like a less number, but then we managed to play until the last minute.
And in Zambia, I mean, as we expected, Lebogang didn't make it easy for you. They are a tough side with a lot of experience. But like Banyana Banyana, they're also finding a way to gel the experienced players and the younger players that are coming in, which is the same for you. But it seems, Ngati, you guys have it under control.
No, in Banyana, together. I think us being like in camp for such a long time now, because I think it's been 8 days, that relationship as players, and Kinanali today, the fight that we gave is for the other players that couldn't make it today. So, yeah, I'm proud of the girls today.
And one thing I noticed, Lebu, these 3 games were attended mostly by young kids. Angazifiyo Wanaga on the stands. I even see now lots of kids in school uniform, and it's quite important for them to come and watch their heroes whereas in the Banyana Banyana squad, also considering that it is Youth Month in the country.
Yeah, I can talk about really defense today, and also the last game that we played. Now, support. I want to continue our support each and every time, and also ever motivator because Mamelodi Sundowns ladies badala more, so like for Bona it's part of like a refresher coming and watch football.
Congratulations, Lebu.
Thank you so much.
And that is the captain of the day, Lebogang Ramalepe, with Captain Rifilejane injured. I do have the coach of Zambia, Coach Nora Hartzell. Coach, hard luck, unfortunately not the best desired results this afternoon. Let's talk about your team's performance.
Well, I think the first half belonged to us. I think we had a good control in defense, in the mid-press, entered into some good transitions out of it. At the moment today, we just missed this absolutely danger, this kukakata. We have not been in the last pass precise enough, so we should use one of these transitions and play it a bit out better. I think in second half it was a bit an open game on both sides. We get scored of a set piece. It's always a bit annoying to get a set piece in. And then we run into a long ball, make a technical error. Yeah, at the moment these are a bit, how do you say, we say the childhood errors we do. Things needs a bit more playing time for certain players. You know, they are young. Okay, sometimes they do an error, we take it. But all in all, we have been not just dangerous enough on the goal. Also in the end, we open at the game. We press fully through. Had some good actions, but also there, you know, last pass missing. Not enough players in the box. So at the moment, we need to just admit that today our top players have not been on the best level. That can happen. It's not that we accept it, but basically we need to take this result like it stands.
Coach, I imagine that the 5 months approximately that you've been with the team will be more interesting is the 29 days that is upcoming ahead of the tournament.
Yeah, I think we are on a process, so now it's a bit to recover from this intense 3 weeks we had now. The international players travel back to their clubs. At the moment, a lot of jet lag flying time. We entered then in a pre-camp in Zambia and afterwards in an international pre-camp, so it's still another game to prepare. I think we're going to head quite close before the tournament to Morocco, but it's still enough time to work on those details to get our confidence, and I'm pretty sure we are ready against Morocco on the first opening game in the WAF.
Thank you so much, Coach, and safe travels.
You're welcome.
And that is Coach of Zambia, Coach Nora Hartel, just speaking about the program they have leading up to the WAFCON. A lot of players still will go back to their clubs and then only assemble just a few days before the tournament that starts. And Zambia does face the host, Morocco. But I do have Coach Desiree Ellis. Coach, initially when we spoke, it was a tense start considering the events of the week. But once again, your team showing the fight and scoring those 2 goals deep into the second half.
Look, we were always going to make those changes, as I told you, because we wanted to test players. We also wanted to test our versatility, but we thought we'd had the others on the bench. But today, this was a true team effort. I think we stuck to the game plan. We denied them space. We moved the ball around quickly, and I think that's what got us. You know, we settled down better. We pressed them when they had the ball, and those were some of the things that we worked on. But we still have a lot of work to do. There were some moments where they got behind us. We need to be better at that. Some moments, especially in the middle of the park, we gave the ball away unnecessary. Late in the second half, we did some silly things at the back, and we need to manage that better, play the game in their half. But other than that, happy with the performance. So, technical team, the performance analysts, spot on with their stuff, and the training this week with the coaches was spot on.
Coach, you did have to substitute Mibe early on in the first half, and I mean, it was quite a physical game when you really think about it, some of the niggles that were happening during a game, and I'm sure it gives you a bit of a headache when you see these players going down with just under 30 days to go to the tournament.
Look, football is a contact sport, but we did say to stay out of the duels. We did say to move the ball around quicker as well. We did say to disrupt their play, to stretch them. We did talk about that, but you know, sometimes when players are on the ball, they see things that we don't see, and we've got to allow them also to express themselves. Yes, there's a structure that we play within, but they have to express themselves. But there's a few things that we can still be better at. There's still, I mean, a big plus for us, Bambanani, 290s back from injury, Karabu, 290s back from injury. We saw Rafiwe Jani play 60. That's a big plus for us. Jermaine has been off for a couple of weeks. Amu's been off for a couple of weeks because they're in off-season. So that's a big plus for us. But everyone else around that, I thought, you know, today, Bonkeka, that free kick, absolutely magnificent. The way we scored the second goal, we caught them on the counter. And playing Rama up front, out wide, we are trying these combinations to make sure that we have enough versatility in the team. So sometimes the players playing out of position, there's a reason why, because we know they're capable of doing that. Karabu played at left centre back, now she's playing at left back, so it helps us, you know, with the options that we need for the WAFCON, because the squad is really small that we need to select, and that's going to be important, the versatility of players.
Coach, just lastly, 29 days to go. What does the map and the road, how does it look like going forward for the team?
I think we all just go back home, recover from the flu, because some are still recovering, some are in bed, some are not here, so recover from that. We've already sat down on when we need to go back, what it is that we need to do. But for now, we just want to say thank you to the fans for coming out in their numbers, for the support. We could hear them, we could see them when there was a lull, when things were not going our way, that they lifted us up, and we just want to say thank you to them. Also, thank you to Safa and Cecil for getting us these 2 friendlies. And it shows the Kosafa region is rich in football. It shows because the quality of football that was played in these 3 nations augurs well for all of us going to the WAFCON.
Thank you so much, Coach Ellis.
Thank you.
And that is Coach Dr. Desiree Ellis, coach of Banyana Banyana, just speaking about the importance of playing these sides that are also going to the WAFCON. I do have the vice captain of the Copper Queens, and that is Rachel Kundanaji. Rachel, hard luck. I just want to talk about how you feel about the 2 performances that you played against Botswana as well as South Africa.
Firstly, it's so painful for the results, but you know, this is a preparation, and this is the eye-opener for us to see where we should work on and like where we should focus as we are going to the AFCON. And
I like it that we lost better than if we won, we could have relaxed. But now we are going back and work hard so that we know that when we go to the AFCON, we need to do our level best.
I want to speak about the growth of African football where women are concerned. I mean, you play in the USA as well as Barbara. We've got a few players in Banyana Banyana that are also has that been for football on the continent.
You know, firstly, when I was coming in football, you know, when I just joined the international level, I just knew a few African players who were doing the best, the most. And, you know, my aim was like to join them and be on top with them. And that's what I'm doing. And, like, there's a lot of players who have joined the drums also, like a lot of African countries, a lot of African players that have come to show what talent we have in Africa. This is the way to motivate other players. As we are working hard on top, we are motivating other young players to work hard and say they can be anybody, because if they see our story and then they see where we are, they will be like, nothing is impossible.
Also, I want to talk about the upcoming WAFCON. You Zambia finished 3rd in the last edition. Have you spoken about what you'd like to achieve in the next 29 days in Morocco?
Step by step, you can never go down, always go up. Our aim is to go up and to do our best, and who knows, coming the champions, and which we can do. We have good quality of the team, and the team that is worthy to win even the Africa Cup. So our target is just to work hard, to be the best, to be the best, and come back with something.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you.
And that is Rachel Kundananji, vice captain of the Zambian side. Remember, this was a mini competition because we had Botswana, South Africa, as well as Zambia playing in this tournament. And Banyana Banyana won 3-2 against Botswana in the first game. And today they won 2-0 against Zambia, which makes them the champions of the 3 nations. And Dean Somerset of Cecil is going to hand over the trophy for the captain of the day, Lebohang Ramolebe. And just like that, Banyana Banyana winning this trophy just a few days before the AFCON that is happening in Morocco from the 2nd of July all the way to the end of the month. And that is Banyana Banyana lifting the trophy of the 3 nations. There we go. Captain Fantastic, Lebo Ramalebe, Andile Dlamini, Bamba Nanimbani, some of the players in the squad that have lifted this trophy. So congratulations to Banyana Banyana, hosts of this mini tournament between Zambia and that is the Banyana Banyana players winning that trophy after securing a 2-0 victory against Zambia. As I was saying, 3-2 against Botswana, 2-0 against Zambia, and it bodes well for Coach Desiree Ellis and the players with 29 days to go to the Women's Africa Cup of Nations out in Morocco. So from myself here, Lonwabo Miso at the Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium, and the team here at SABC Sport, have a lovely evening further. We'll take it to a break, and then Uvusiwe Ngobo is back to wrap it up for us.
This is the Bundesliga. Football as it's meant to be.
Between 1901 and the 1970s, some 5 million Mozambican migrant workers rode the night train to come and work the coal and gold mines of the Witwatersrand that built the booming industrial economy of South Africa. This is their story.
A noteworthy documentary.
Night PM SABC2.
This is the International Friendly.
Absolutely sensational. And for the winner, surely! Would you believe it?
As there's a low ball in and a chance here.
Zambia lead again. in again. And that's the...
Catch the incredible clash between South Africa and Zambia on Tuesday, 3 June at 2:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus, SABC 2 and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
60 years ago, I embarked on a journey to understand the places and the people of this amazing planet we live on. But time moves on, and so do we. Now I'm going back to see what happened to the places and the people I used to know. All these years later, what remains of the wild places? Is there still time for us to make a difference on this small planet?
The longest snake in the world.
A remarkable and thought-provoking documentary series, Wild World Diaries, Friday, 6 June, SABC 2.
Welcome back. South Africa have just concluded a 2-0 victory over the Copper Queens of Zambia in this encounter. We did have to wait all the way until the second half to see those goals coming through for South Africa, the likes of Gamete as well as Siopasino finding the back of the net. And I'll start with you, Janine. When you holistically look at the 90 minutes of action, I mean, the first half left quite a lot wanting. But when we look at the second half and combine it both, what do you make of Banyana's display?
Yeah, I think Banyana, came out. Both teams really came out forcefully trying to get a goal. And, it only came in the 74th minute. But both teams had opportunities. I think it was quite an open game in the second half compared to the first, where they were kind of sussing each other out tactically. But fantastic free kick that opened the game, and that allowed the game to be even more open for Banyana, finding the spaces and, having Zambia attack the defense line of Banyana more so, and goals started pouring out. So fantastic push to the end, showing character that they didn't give up. But I think just the opener itself was a moment of brilliance for Gamete.
Moment of brilliance there for Wangega Gamete, finding the opening goal for South Africa, coming in the 74th minute from a set piece. As we take a look at the key points in this encounter, we will, of course, get to that goal. But first, we take a look at those key moments coming through from this game. Lana coach Sibonile is Zambia pretty early on in the game, trying to set the tone in terms of their intentions.
Yeah, I mean, heavy touch from Rachel. Hana Krapolela kama 18, and then she was out of the target actually, and the goalkeeper was coming off her line to just guide her for Askatlamo targeting, and then it was a very good thing to see a team like Zambia trying to score early in the first half. But we had a very good defense, because you can see the chasing, the covering, and supporting each other. For if maybe she managed to beat Bambanani, we had somebody who was going to cover her, of which it was Makubele, T-shirt Makubele, number 17.
Indeed. And we look at, and we're going to go to this talking point shortly, Janine, but let's look at the impact of the player of the match here this afternoon, Lebogang Ramalebe, and what she brought to the game, because we saw her literally having to grind hard today.
Yeah, she did exceptionally well, was on the ball, did her attacking duties really well. You can see that for the past couple of years, she's been playing as a fullback, and you could see glimpses of it because, she gives you that attacking mobility going forward, being able to put in good crosses, but also, defensive duty did exceptionally well. So I think all round, having the ball in possession, out of possession, she really helped the team. But perhaps, having that armband comes with a greater responsibility. You have to step up and showcase for the team and for the nation, and she did exactly that today.
And speaking about her ability to help this Banyana team both in attack and defense, we look particularly now, Coach, at what she was doing defensively, because in the 24th minute, Zambia had a good opportunity in front of goal, and had Ramalebe not been there to do what she did, we could have been talking a different story here.
Experience count. And as I said earlier, Ramalebe player, you can use her anywhere, anytime. She's very versatile. balanced, strong, tactically smart. She can protect and do everything. If it was somebody, she read that ball because it was a clever free kick. Everybody didn't expect that free kick can be like that. We thought maybe they're going to use their body weight, their power just to take it straight into the goals. But it was smart. But Ramalepo was there and say, listen, it's experience because sometimes I play full back. But today she was playing as a winger and of which she contributed so well. If we can check each and every attribute on the game, that is why she ended up being the player of the match.
Indeed, and we look at those chances coming in the first half, and we didn't see much from South Africa, including the fact that there was not even a single shot on target in the first 45. But round about the half-hour mark, we saw Jermaine Siopasino literally working hard to get that cross through, and could have been a golden opportunity for South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, when Jermaine gets... Her strength is running in behind defenders and really running at them and taking shots from distance and from angles. And I think this was also, just putting it into the box in a danger area and see what comes from it. And Jermaine actually had a couple of those in the first half. And it was just, that final product, that final touch that was let down. But other than that, I think Jermaine has done exceptionally well as a striker, replacing Thembi Kgatlana. People wonder what's going to happen. Thembi's not there, but I think Jermaine in the past 2 games that she's played, scoring 3 goals and, showcases and gives Banyana also that confidence, knowing that they do have a striker that can finish in front of goal.
Indeed, and she does finish in front of goal eventually in this game, but just not in this moment yet. Coach, we then, just before going to the halftime break, see another good opportunity coming through from South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa, first off, with the chemistry, Ebana Leona, Linda Mhlalo, you can see that lofty ball, Hane Jenina Atrahor across that ball, the goalkeeper Ipera out. The chemistry of Bongeka, Linda Mhlalo, the goalkeeper Andile. But when you look at South Africa today's lineup, Coach Desiree Ellis, I think was a very good, she applied the factors of performance, meaning the principles of play in defense and principles of play in attack. You look at the way they can play and find each other. You can see how Jermaine, she's so smart. He meets a sniffing dog today because Okona Hovoa, Abule game, Ababoya Kamakamara box. And then that is why at the end of the day, she managed to score that solo, goal and mistake at defense, Zambia.
Indeed, and this is how South Africa basically wrapped up the first 45 minutes, unable to find the back of the net just yet. But a quick one from you, Janine, before we take that break. You spoke about how you would like to see Linda Mhlalo revert back to her normal 10 role. Overall, what did you make of her performance this afternoon, or do you still feel like she wasn't able to shine in her normal position?
No, look, Linda Mhlalo is a fantastic player on the ball. She's able to play, anywhere in the span of the field, and I think she did her duty today. She played controlled football. She distributed passes forward. She, linked up with the defense line to try and get the ball forward. But I think her quality is missing right up front. If you talk about Desiree wanting her team to play in the opponent's half, you need that little bit of brilliance and spark that is able to dictate where the ball goes. If she talks about moving the ball around, you want to move it around in the opponent's half, and that is the kind of player that you always want on the ball, distributing it left to right. So I think just her quality is kind of missing, but it's also a plus that she is able to play both as a sitter, but also as an attacking midfielder.
Indeed. That is how we wrapped up the first 45 minutes of this encounter. In the second half, it was glorious for South Africa, finding off the back of the net twice and showing us some hacha, as Coach Anamanada said. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll take a look at those goals.
Get ready for an exciting show. Believe it, family. It's a big day for 25K. In this brand new show, join us as we follow couples across South Africa on their journey to create their dream wedding for only 25K.
Our biggest hope is that everything fits in the budget of 25K.
There were many things that we had to do in 3 days' time.
We'll share in their disappointments.
It's also stress. Somebody let me down early this morning.
It's a really expensive trip. I don't know how we're going to afford to fly this trip.
celebrate their triumphs.
I always dreamed of this day, but ke sa tsebe hore na e tlo phethahala jwang.
Thank you to everyone that made this day.
A big day for 25K, Sunday 7:30 p.m. only on SABC2, where you belong.
Between 1901 and the 1970s, some 5 million Mozambican migrant workers rode the night train to come and work the coal and gold mines of the Witwatersrand that built the booming industrial economy of South Africa. This is their story.
A noteworthy documentary.
Night Train, Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. SABC2.
This is the international friendly.
Absolutely sensational. And for the winner, surely! Would you believe it?
As there's a low ball in and a chance here.
Zambia lead again.
In again. And that's a...
Catch the incredible clash between South Africa and Zambia on Tuesday, 3 June at 2:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus, SABC2 and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
South Africa managed to secure themselves a 2-0 victory up against the Copper Queens of Zambia. Taking a look at some of those key moments coming through, coming into the second half, it was Zambia that started off the attack. And of course, we saw Barbara Banda, a player who seemed so contained in today's game, getting an opportunity there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a player that you don't want to, chase. And I think Bambanani did exceptionally well. But with the quality of Barbara Banda playing in the highest league in the world, NWSL, I expected a little bit more from her in this moment. And, one would say it's jet lag, I don't know. But bringing it down, having a little bit more composure in the box. But, yeah, I don't think she was on the greatest of form today for her country. And, yeah, it's one of those days. But I think with our defence line being really solid today and not giving her any space to play and breathe, kept her out of the game and forced us up.
Indeed. And South Africa kept her out of the game once again in just the 55th minute. Let's speak to this one, Coach, because Dokso here, Bambanani Mbane, the way that she tackled Barbara Banda, who was on song to finding the back of the net, literally.
I think for that 10 minutes since we came back second half, Mbani and it was Mbani and Banda. So Mbani managed to cut under everything. Speeds are high, intelligent they are high. Come clipper all the time. Yes, dog saw it at the night swing, but that one is on Turbi because Nakasi referee I stopped at that game of Iran drop ball. Why Iran drop ball? If we check, I think maybe that
here it is.
Yeah, check it.
Achilles.
Yes.
If you look here carefully, Banana's left foot, she clipped her Achilles. And I think that was a
well done.
It was very smart. It's a tactical
It was
foul.
before Narco, right? So if maybe Azang Abanali that take that bullet for our team, I mean,
yeah, it's taking a bullet for the team, but let's speak then to the officiating in this instance, because one would have said, surely Juice should have gotten some sort of card, a yellow card at the very least, and Mini saying she should have walked.
I definitely think if there was VAR involved, this would have probably been looked at as a red card offence. And, stopping a player that is in on goal, there's literally no cover, and a player that, was absolutely free in front of goal, and that happened, I asked myself, why would she just stop if she knows she's in on goal, if she didn't get clipped? So it was very strange for me that the official just gave a drop ball.
Gave no card, gave a drop ball, not even a free kick for Zambia. So
and that could have definitely changed the game, sorry to say. That could have changed the game. That could have been 1-0 to Zambia in the moment if Bambanani didn't clip her. It could have been a player less for Banyana, and it could have changed the entire game. But luck was on our side today.
Luck was certainly on South Africa's side today. Just a little bit later from there, 72nd minute, we have an offside call here being called we're going straight to the goal that South Africa, of course, are being fouled here, getting that set piece, and Bongeka Gamete, I mean, glorious, finding the back of the net, and Musonda having 0 chances there.
Yeah, I mean, Rama Lepesh has been an outstanding player. She's smart. She knows how to come inside and create that, opportunity, scoring opportunities. Because she's not a player who loses a ball very easily. But when you look at the distance, 30 meters away from the goal line, and then you look at the technique, this Kamete. The shoelace, the power behind that.
Power technique.
Everything was there, you understand. And then look at the goalkeeper. When you look at the goalkeeper, she was not on the goal line. She was 2 steps away from the goal line. Maybe if she was there, she was going to manage to just, flip the ball over the goals. But unfortunately, that power, that ball, oh, wow, that was beautiful for us.
And I mean, if you look at this, not very far away, Janine, from the set piece we saw Zambia getting, but they had a different approach, which we said was a smart one. But here, Gamete just saying, I know my abilities and I just have to hit the target.
That's what it comes down to, is knowing your strength and your ability on the ball. Kicking a dead ball, a set piece taker is a difficult technique. But, her stepping up, she knew that this was an opportunity for her. So she definitely took it, and fantastic shot.
Fantastic shot there by Bongeka Gamete to open the scoring for South Africa. 30 meters out, she manages to find that opening goal. The second goal then for South Africa as well in the 81st minute. After we thought that may be the end of it, but let's speak to how South Africa finds the second goal.
I mean, that was a critical phase of the game because it's 83 minutes. The players then, it's Zambia. I don't know what was happening because that ball was a very good contribution from the goalkeeper, from our goalkeeper. And then when you look at Mulaba, the number 23 of Zambia, you can see the clearing high nearly paid. She used the wrong clearance, wrong technique because she was supposed just to use the inside step of the foot just to kick it away. And the distance amongst the defenders of Zambia and the space behind them, there was no way to cover each other because when you look at their center back, it's 10 meters. The next one in the midfield is 7 meters apart. Then there's 50 meters where that, Mabula, Maluba, and the mistake thing to cover that space and then unali so passing. Unali advantage. There's no way she's an international player. There's no way she should miss. She's a sniffer. She knows how to position herself. And she's clever. She's not always offside.
And she has a number of opportunities available to her here, Coach.
Yes.
And she says, I can actually take this shot. No need to rely on anyone else.
Correct. Composure in front of the goals. Pick your spot. Finish it.
Composure in front of goals for South Africa's Banyana. They secure a 2-0 victory up against the Copper Queens of Zambia. And it will give them a good confidence boost before going, of course, into that WAFCON title defense, of course, that gets underway on the 5th of July with South Africa's first game on the 7th of July coming up against Ghana, a nation, of course, that is ranked number 65 in the world. We continue to celebrate Youth Month. Youth, yes, according to youth, according to government, they're still very, very young. We continue to celebrate Youth Month and the strides made by the youngsters in bringing change like in Africa. The Hollywood Bets Kasafa Cup, of course, getting underway tomorrow out in Bloemfontein. You can catch the encounters live. Tomorrow it will be Bafana in their opening game that will be live on SABC 1. They come up against Mozambique. It starts at 2:30 and it will also be available on SABC Plus. And then later on in the evening, it is Mauritius that take on our neighbors in Zimbabwe. That one you can also catch on SABC Plus at 6 p.m. And of course, we're building up to the World Cup qualifiers for Bafana. They will be in action against Tanzania. This game will be coming to you from Polokwane. You can catch it live on SABC 2 at 7 p.m. on Friday. Coach Anna Waya Achamunati, it's always such a pleasure having you. Janine, it was lovely to see you. Good to have your masterclass and your analysis this afternoon.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Ningizim Africa, thank you so much for tuning in. From myself, Uvusiwe Indogazi Yagwangobo and the rest of the SABC Sports team. Until next time, have yourselves a good afternoon going into evening and God bless.